The donors, the special interests, the lobbyists have very strong power over these people. They have a lot of control over our politicians. And I don't say that favorably.
This is our first Jewish president. We thank you for everything.
You're not going to support me, even though you know I'm the best thing that could ever happen to Israel. You're not going to support me because I don't want your money.
I love Israel. I'm with you all the way. You will be bigger, better, stronger.
And a lot of bad decisions that are being made for the benefit of lobbyists and special interests. You better get rid of the super PACs because they're causing a big problem.
We have to get the people of our country, of this country, to love Israel more. That are Jewish people, that are great people, they don't love Israel enough.
It's the Homeless Left with Matt Weinglass and co-host Craig Pasta Jardula. Episode 184. Stop asking questions. And all new top censored news of the week. And here's your host, Matt Weinglass.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Homeless Left. I'm Matt Weinglass. We'll be here with you guys on this non-tribal news show all afternoon today. We had a little late start, but that's because there's so much we had to get ready for you guys. And we were considering not doing the show today. There were a lot of factors in play. We'll get to some of those later in the show or throughout the show. We'll let you know a little bit about what's going on our home front and the things that we have to kind of deal with from day to day in order to do everything we can to show up, be here for you guys, and do the hard stuff, the stuff that the mainstream media, the people that were told to us to have been journalists doing news, they not only aren't doing that job, they're doing the opposite of that job. And the opposite of journalism is protecting power. That's not what the job is supposed to be. That's why we're here. We're here in this space so we can punch up, we can look into things, do our own research as we get called all these names. You guys know the drill, right? You know, the conspiracy theorist this and anti that, and the list is long. It's a mile long, and we let that just kind of brush off our shoulders, and we keep doing the work. The work is asking questions. Now we're calling, ironically so, we're calling today's episode "Stop Asking Questions," because it seems that there are punishments in play besides just being called names. It seems that there is a mechanism of making examples, whether it is fully removing people's social media, deplatforming as they call it. It could be character defamation, completely wiping out your ability to have, and this we call blacklisting, where you're not able to get work in your industry. So those mechanisms are in place. We also know the legal system has now allowed free speech to be criminalized on behalf of our greatest ally on the planet, which we're seeing time and time again. We just had a case in Florida doing a girl in her class who did a WhatsApp chat, and now she's facing 15 years for telling a joke about Netanyahu in a group chat. So that's just an example of all the different levels of punishment for doing the things that we're doing. But there's another level of punishment beyond that, and that's making an example of you and completely eliminating you altogether, which we're noticing. And that's why a big story, we're going to get to this one real soon, real shortly. The anti-gravity scientists and researchers who have gone missing or had freak accidents or got the sudden case of suicide, all in a very short period of time. So we're going to be looking at some of that and where we're at and how we respond to that. By the way, journalists are getting killed in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iran. I mean, this is just a thing that we have to deal with on top of all that. is the targeting of journalists time and time again. The list is well above 280 that Israel are guilty of committing murder against just journalists since October 7th. We have at least 280 and rising. The number keeps rising. So those are all the reasons why they tell us to what? Stop asking questions. Okay, so we're going to not listen to that, and we're just going to continue asking questions and continue looking into things. But you guys know that's why you're here on our network, on our channel. This is the homeless left. We are homeless from the left. You might be homeless from somewhere else, where you came from, a tribe you no longer want to be part of. And that's why we're here in this space. We are no longer going to be tribalists. We are, for now on, going to be non-tribal. And we're going to be able to use our critical thinking skills when we look at the day-to-day happenings and how we respond to them. It's not going to be checking in with our team leaders, telling us what to think and feel and how to respond and who to be mad at, because they're always wrong on purpose about who to be mad at. And they always want us punching down at our neighbors and saying, whoever, if you voted for the wrong person, you're the problem, always blaming voters. We're not playing that game anymore. We are holding the people in power responsible. And who are those people? They are the elite class, the pedo class, the child eaters. These are people, the most sick and twisted people of all time imaginable. And they control pretty much the entire planet. And by the way, they're also warmongers and obsessed with power and using the people they rule, right? Because they're the ruling class, using the people they rule against each other, pitting us against each other, and fabricating wars, fabricating things like pandemics in order to keep us in line and in a constant state of uncertainty and fear and confusion. And in some cases, fight or flight. In all those cases, what can you not do when you're in those states of mind? You can't use your critical thinking skills, and you can't do anything action-based to do anything about it. And that's how the system is designed. And that's why, why we're here to fight back against that. Okay. Let's just a few announcements up front, because we want to make sure that we are locked in here on our Rumble channel and on our YouTube channel. So this is where you guys can throw up some comments, some super chats. On Rumble, it's Rumble Rants. Super chats on YouTube. This is the YouTube channel, THL Presents. You can't find, if you guys try and type in the homeless left on YouTube, you're not going to find it. It's been terminated because we committed the crime against Google of having these conversations. It's apparently destructive and dangerous and harmful to the community. How do I know that? Well, they told us that in an email. They said, we want to keep the community safe, and your channel is not being safe with your conversations that you're having. So we started a new channel. That's why we're doing THL Presents. So guys, share it out, like it, put some comments in. We have to fight this algorithm. They're not just terminating channels. In fact, they're doing less of that these days. They're still doing it. They're still terminating channels. But these days they are doing a little more nefarious stuff where it's harder to detect. It's called shadow banning. You guys know shadow banning. It's an element that's hard for us to detect, but we know the algorithm is in place to prevent people from seeing that we're live right now. That's a mechanism. And if you're subscribed to this channel, you might be unsubscribed, not by us, but by the mechanism in place, and you won't be getting this feed. Even if you are subscribed and they didn't take that away, you might not get the notification. Any comment, any engagement helps us with our reach and getting out there to people that want to see what we're doing. We know you guys want to see this because we hear from you every single day about keep doing what you're doing and let's get the message out. So that's what we're doing today. Here's a couple announcements. We did hit 5,000 on Rumble, which is crazy. Rumble's hard to do that on. And it took us a while. We're almost at our 3-year mark there on Rumble. So that's you guys that have been here from the beginning. We've actually surpassed that on our second YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. Hopefully, that's expected as long as they're not terminating this channel and giving us any strikes. Thank God we haven't gotten any yet. So that's great. So congratulations. We hit the 5K on Rumble. Today happens to be birthday show. you know what? I decided let's just do the show. We can celebrate later. But that's what we choose to do. By the way, we're going to have Craig Pasta Jardula on. Craig Pasta also had his birthday last week, and we made sure, he was celebrating by doing the work and getting on the shows. He did rounds on a lot of shows. He was actually down in Peru, and he did the rounds on his birthday. So the least we can do is return the favor and do the Homeless Left on my birthday and have Craig Pasta back on. He'll be on as well. And then Leslie will be back for Talking Back today. And we do have a lot of stuff to get into with you guys. And that's why your comments are important. We will be talking back with you, responding to your engagement live on the show. So lots coming up. Let's get to it right now. Let's start with the anti-gravity scientists disappearing / sudden case of the suicides. I don't know what we want to call it, but it's not looking good right now in the scientific community. So let's try and piece this together a little bit. We'll start with this one. This is Amy. She was Amy Estrich. She was a researcher working on anti-gravity technology, whose death was ruled a suicide, of course. And now she sent in a text just a month before her death telling people she would never kill herself. That's according to the Daily Mail. Amy Estrich, she was found with a gunshot to her head in Alabama. She did tell a friend that she had been a target of multiple physical and psychological attacks, including being a victim of an energy weapon before her death. Now, we can go further with just telling a friend, because we know, after looking into it a little bit, that Amy liked to do some podcasting. Whatever you call it. She liked to talk about this stuff online and publicly. So this is an excerpt of one of her most recent videos before her apparent suicide, and you can see the magnitude and the weight is on her shoulders as she tries to explain what they're doing to her right now. And this is obviously before she was found with the sudden case of suicides.
That I was being physically surveilled by the following method. My ex-boyfriend and I realized that people had been breaking into our apartment while we were gone together in the same vehicle. And so I'm in the apartment, I'm about to go to work, and I'm like, why don't you take out the trash and scope out the parking lot and make sure it's okay before I go to work? So he goes out there and he's like, there's this weird fucking Lexus. It's like a silver Lexus. This is a shitty apartment. Why is there really nice Lexus in the parking lot? And it has tinted windows that are not street legal, just totally dark, totally black tinted windows that are not possibly street legal. And so he comes back in and we're standing in our bedroom window looking at the Lexus and talking about it. And I say out loud, maybe we should walk over there later and take a picture of the license plate, because the Lexus is across the parking lot from us, but it's backed in, so you can't see the license plate. Within 2 minutes of me saying, hey, we should walk over there later and take a picture of the license plate, we were still standing there at the window looking at it, talking about it. And an Eastern European looking motherfucker with a black beanie, dressed all in black, in his 50s or 60s, walked out of the apartment directly across from ours holding a license plate. And he opened the trunk of the Lexus and he took out some tools and he changed the license plate right in front of our fucking faces. And then he walked back to his apartment and he put the old license plate on the front patio and went inside, left it outside. And it was literally come get the license plate. I have more where this came from. Come get the license plate. And then after that, the Lexus started tailing me. And every time I saw the Lexus, it had a different license plate. It would be Alabama plates, a different state plate. It would be random dealer plates, none of which were local. just like cardboard temporary dealer plates, none of which were any local dealers. Every time I saw it, it was different plates. It would follow me to the gas station to go get beer. I would go get beer at the gas station, and that Lexus follows me. And even my ex called an Uber once. He called an Uber. The Lexus pulled out from the spot across the parking lot from our apartment, drove over to our apartment, and said, "Hey, I'm your Uber here to pick you up." The license matched in the Uber app, but they didn't have an Uber sticker or a Lyft sticker. You can't drive Uber if you don't have an Uber sticker.
Okay, so she goes on. What she's getting at here is the high-tech surveillance apparatus in place with her, that they're able to know exactly what she's talking about just privately in her home, and they respond accordingly. There's another shot, and you guys can see on the bottom right there, her hands. There's a direct energy weapon technique also in play, where she had to board up her windows and cover them with some protective screens in order to stop this skin. I guess that she was having these incredibly painful skin reaction to what was going on right into her window. This is years of torture. Years. This isn't just one little, Uber driver this or license plate that. But this is just one example that was put up here. But she was tormented for a long time. Now, a lot of people, there are people online trying to diminish this. You understand, like, mental illness must have come into play. Well, you think maybe a little after the work that you're doing, the stuff that you are being told that you are not allowed to release. There's another video of her. I don't have it in front of me here, but there's another video of her saying she thought that the work she was doing was actually going to be able to get out there. The anti-gravity work that she was working on, there is a timeline of people before her that were threatened to their face. If you release this, if you disclose the work you're doing on anti-gravity technology, there will be physical consequences to you. And because she wasn't told that directly to her face, some colleagues of her were telling her that's a good sign. That means that maybe they are gearing up and they're ready, because they know at some point this information has to get out to the public. It has to. At some point, there's a tipping point. They can't keep this information secret forever. And so that was the optimist part of her saying, maybe I'm in the right place at the right time, and I just have to ride this out. They're just kind of effing with me. If they wanted to kill me, they'd kill me. So there was that part of your brain that says, why don't they just do it? Why the years of torture? It doesn't make sense. But it seems that there are a ton of other examples of this happening in the same time. And you're free to look this one up for more, because she's got a lot of material out there. She actually was very vocal about the work she was doing, not disclosing the details, but saying, this is the stuff I'm working on. This is why they don't want it out there. And here's how they're treating me from day to day over the past few years. More intensely in the last 3 months, as she indicates. Here's another example. We have this nuclear scientist from NASA, Jonathan LeBlanc. He was 29 years old. He was found dead in his Tesla after colliding with a guardrail, which happens all the time, as we probably know. It's, this accidents happen. But they said that his body was burned so bad that it was completely unrecognizable. It's pretty bad. So here is, let me grab that one real quick. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go, guys.
Joshua LeBlanc grew up in New Iberia, but he was working in Huntsville at NASA as an electrical engineer. His family reported him missing earlier this week. His car was found Tuesday afternoon, 2 hours away from his home, with no signs of him anywhere. Joshua LeBlanc was well known in New Iberia, where he graduated from Catholic High and later attended and graduated from UL Lafayette. His family tells me he last communicated with them at 4:32 a.m. Tuesday. They also told me he never showed up for a job that he loved that morning as well. What we do know about his disappearance is this. Alabama authorities did track his blue Tesla Model 3. According to the Tesla car data, it stopped for 4 hours at the Huntsville International Airport, which is about 12 minutes from his apartment. The data shows his car left the airport, traveled west on Alabama back roads before crashing in Florence, Alabama. Tuesday, 2 p.m., the car was discovered and a body inside, but the body was found burned beyond recognition, according to family members. But the case has only raised more questions. LeBlanc's phone, his personal belongings, and even his dog were all left behind in his Huntsville apartment. Family members say the detour and disappearance don't match anything Joshua had planned for that day, and now they believe he may have been abducted from his home.
Yeah, most likely, yeah. And, you know, one of these incidences by themselves just looks like a freak incident, right? But when you start adding them up over the last year and a half, which it seems this was from the previous last summer. This is less than a year ago that this occurred. And then all the ones that have happened since, you start to say, wait a second, there is certainly starts to be a drawing this connection between all of these incidences. So let's go to another. There's another scientist. This is a NASA scientist who died. And this was really bizarre situation because, and his name was James Moffata, along with his family, all in a plane crash. This is coming a day after, and we're going to get to David Wilcox because now they're happening far more rapidly on a day-to-day, every other day basis at this point. And they claim, and so we'll get to David Wilcox in a moment, but this is, he was an aerospace defense engineer, military veteran, and the plane just happened to crash with, again, at the same time, all these other ones are getting killed. He was 60, his wife, 61. They were aboard a single engine aircraft returning home to Huntsville when the aircraft went down on Friday, the 17th of this month. So these just keep happening more and more are often. So let's look at the chart that's trying to kind of piece together all of these at the same time here. If you can see, we have a couple of them already on here. You got Amy Estridge at the bottom right there. These other guys, I mean, there's just so many of these. There's so many of these. Michael David Hicks, NASA researcher there in the middle. Carl Grimar, he was a scientist working on the infrared telescopes. This is unbelievable, and a lot of these are still saying they're missing or their body comes up later and they're dead. Pretty remarkable. All these different people that are connected to either a NASA program, an aerospace program, infrared telescope program, anti-gravity technology. So these are scientists, engineers, researchers that have access to information that we're not supposed to have, right? That's kind of how it goes. So at this point, you might ask yourself, and we actually covered this during the Artemis 2, that bizarre theater piece. You guys should go back and watch our coverage on that one. The Artemis 2 Hollywood showcase where they had the central casting actor forgetting her lines. Everything about that mission seemed a little off, but it was during that mission that some of these deaths were being reported and people were getting aware of these occurrences happening one after the next. Fox News did a report on it. And so you got to ask yourself, why is a mainstream network picking up these stories? Is it because they're forced to now because so many of them are happening? Well, let's relook at this clip from Fox News who did start reporting on these researcher deaths. Check this one out.
Unsettling mystery. At least 10 American scientists, military officials, and associates have been found dead or suddenly vanished. And now some lawmakers are calling for an investigation. Brooke Taylor is live from Dallas with more. I've been sort of following this, but I'm looking forward to your report so I can better understand it.
Hi, Dana. Well, there's definitely a lot of questions surrounding this because at least 10 of those scientists, military officials, and employees, as you mentioned, who are tied to America's most sensitive nuclear and space programs have either just vanished or disappeared in the last few years. So we hope we'll break this down for you. We put this together. The cases span from July 2023 to now. In some, deaths remain unexplained or lack full public detail. In others, sudden disappearances with few answers. So check out some of these cases. Most recently, retired Air Force General William McCaslin vanished in February. He walked out of his Albuquerque home, leaving behind his phone. Previously, he oversaw some of the Pentagon's most advanced aerospace programs. Then check out this case also in February. Astrophysicist Carl Grillmeyer, who worked closely on NASA missions, was killed outside of his home. Police did arrest a suspect in that case. Then 8 months earlier, U.S. rocket scientist Monica Reza disappeared while hiking in California's Angeles National Forest. Records show she worked on advanced aerospace materials. I spoke to Congressman Eric Burleson, who's calling for an FBI investigation.
Well, these were not ordinary citizens. These are some of the most advanced scientists that are working on some of our most critical nation secrets. This has all of the hallmarks of a foreign operation.
Okay, stop it right there. Foreign operation. Could this be why Fox News is going through these like it's a conspiracy theorist channel? Because this is the kind of stuff we get accused of, but they're going through these one at a time. I wonder what foreign entity they're referring to. Let's see.
And so this is something that we need to be investigating.
And Dana, so far, no local authority has publicly connected these mysterious deaths and disappearances. We did reach out to the FBI last night, who told us they have no comment.
Okay. Well, look, maybe we can get a sense of why, because now we're hearing what? We're hearing that Trump is actually looking into this, right? This, add it to the list, right, guys? You add it to the, we're going to get you guys, the Charlie Kirk murderer. That's going to be solved along with the 9/11 files, JFK, and of course, the Epstein files. All of that is on its way because Trump is looking into it and he's going to tell us everything we need to know. The problem is, what is he going to come up with? And that's a predetermined answer. And that is China. That's the answer. They're going to blame this on China. I'm telling you guys that in advance. We indicated that on the show when we covered when we were doing the Artemis 2 project, the Hollywood fiasco deal. You guys should go back and watch that one. It's on a HOLLYWOKE segment we did last week. But it's China they're going to blame it on. But I got news for you guys. If you think that China is doing this to us, this is happening in China too. There's also Chinese scientists being killed too. If you guys were not aware of that, we're not the only ones this is happening to. So I just want to put this out there. So let's focus on the big one, the one that Fox didn't mention because it's more recent. Well, we're going to call this one number 12, right? So let's look at number 12 that they're numbering it. It's David Wilcock. David Wilcock was a top UFO researcher. He died by suicide, right? He woke up one day with a sudden case of suicidals, or whatever you want to diagnose it. Here's what he said on his last live stream. And again, these guys are live streaming. This is good. This isn't just, we heard from a friend. They're going on camera and they're telling us these things. People are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. It's a little bit scary. So he's referring to all of those ones that Fox just told you about. He also said this before his death, that he's not suicidal. Of course, something's not right here. Let's take a look at this YouTuber or TikToker. I don't know what platform this came off of, but she's going to point this out right here.
UFO researcher apparently committed suicide yesterday. This would be number 12 of the UFO researchers and scientists that have either died or gone missing. Name is David Wilcock. He's 53. He's a famous UFO researcher and New York Times bestselling author. And 2 days ago, one day before his suicide, he decided to do a live on why Trump posted himself as Christ, asking, has he lost his mind? Is he the Antichrist? And he also said this.
Every day that I have on earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary.
And he's also tweeted this, I plan on living, not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real. David didn't just talk about aliens, he talked about the cabal, Illuminati, and Satan. Mainstream media is saying that they're still not sure if he's dead yet, saying that the family has not yet confirmed this. But apparently people in our government do have this information confirmed. Something very weird is going on, and to me it's pretty obvious these guys are getting whacked, and the question is why? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
So yeah, people are noticing this. They're noticing it bad. You know what? There's another one also happened that was close to David here. Let's look at this. This one's from RT here. Hold on. So he learns before he was killed, the UFO expert David Wilcock learns that his biographer, Winfrey, passed away. And he learns about it live on his stream. And then the very next day, he got the sudden case of the suicides himself. What is going on here?
See here is a lot of interesting things going on. And it's a good thing. So, oh my gosh, it's sad to hear Winfrey just passed away. Bright butterfly wing. That is so weird because last night, I was lying in bed and thinking, wouldn't it be sad if Winfrey passed away? He's the guy that wrote the Reincarnation of Edgar Cayce book with me. Last night I had that thought. I am not kidding you, and now you're telling me this. Lotus Girl says, I can't listen to your comedy. Well, sorry. Everybody really likes it. A couple people don't, but it's not very often. I think you'll be able to make it. I think you can make it. Anyway, a lot of people like it. Wow, so yeah, he was my co-author. I did not know that he passed away, but thank you for telling me.
He was his co-author. What did he do? Well, he was the biographer who wrote this book, The Reincarnation of Edgar Cayce, Interdimensional Communication and Global Transformation. There's the book, and there is Win. He is no longer alive, and neither is David. Both of them are gone. I would suggest trying to grab this before it's been taken off of Amazon. If you guys want to check out the stuff that they were actually working on, it's pretty remarkable that the technology that the other scientists had said, look, I'm optimistic that they're not going to, maybe they won't kill us because they know that eventually this information will come out. So what information are we talking about here? What could this information possibly be? This might be the reason they're killing everyone. Here is a breakdown from David Wincock about the stuff he's had access to that I think a lot of it might actually be in this book. And you got to get this book and see what the hell the stuff that he has putting out publicly. Now there's stuff that's probably not out yet. Again, this is the stuff that they're getting killed for because it hasn't been disclosed yet. But you know, just take this for a grain of salt. But here is kind of the stuff he's been working on.
Things that I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. So I really want to make sure that this gets into the film. The rules are a body of spiritual principles that they must follow in order to be allowed to exist. Now, what do I mean by allowed to exist? I mean that they are aware that there are benevolent forces that will prevent them from achieving their goals unless we give them permission. So why did they put this plan for 3 world wars on display in a book that's hanging there open behind glass in the British Museum Library of London? Because the rules state that they have to tell us what they're doing. Therefore, if we allow it to happen, We have consented to tyranny. We have consented to enslavement.
And we've heard that before, right? We've heard that idea that there's these rules of the elite. And he's saying he's hearing it directly from whistleblowers, part of the elite, talking about that they have to follow. Where do these rules come from? What is it? And why is a scientist that's working on anti-gravity and communication through telepathy, why is someone like that having access to that type of information? Why does it seem like it's like we're the mixing of the coming together of science and what cabal, dark magic stuff? Like it kind of all blends together. And for whatever reason, they don't want us to have access to this. Here's one more clip from David Wilcock. And this is the thing. This is the thing probably that it might be inevitable. We might be getting to this place at some point, one way or the other. But I can assure you, if you are part of the elite, you do not want this day to come when this gets out.
I would want the world to know about ascension. I would want the world to know that we are very, very close. And all the people on the inside know this. This is the key of disclosure. We are very close to some sort of energetic shift that the sun is going to do. There have already been multiple experiments, I've heard this from several insiders, in which they take ordinary folks and they put them into a room and they zap them with the energy that our sun is going to give off when we go through this change, become very blissed out. They start to get really telepathic. They can move things with their mind. Everybody kind of goes into a psychedelic trip. Our government knows that this is going to happen, where there's no veil left, where we are wide open to reality. We want the world to know.
There you go. There you go. We can only do so much with the information we have, but to have access to that changes everything. And that's what they don't want us to have, right? So until we get that access, we're going to have to work with what we got. And hopefully that's enough, at least, to keep these elite assholes on their toes, no matter how many of us they eliminate or give us the sudden case of suicides. Okay. Moving on with the show, guys. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it right now. It is time. Yeah, we're gonna get into some Middle East shenanigans, as you know, that we've been up to. The U.S.-Israel war machine has been absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and bring in our co-host, help us out with that right now. Please welcome back to the show, Craig Pasta Jardula.
Russian and KGB have nothing to do with scientists dead. Just want to point out. Oh, and happy birthday, Matt.
I am paying you with your own money. No.
I actually showed that scene, that very scene right you're talking about, to a Russian just recently, and he enjoyed the scene. But we both agreed that, you know, Malkovich is a great actor, but that was a real tough role to play. He came close.
Was it over the top a little?
No. Yeah, I think so. A little
but we've all been at poker players. We've all been at tables that had that tension. I like the tension that was created there, right, where he's taking his time.
Yeah. I like the one with Worm in the beginning with the two Russians when he told them, you know what I'm saying, when they got all pissed off, he goes, hey, English only at the table. Yeah, I'm sure you're talking about pierogies and snow, but if you want to see this next fucking card, you're going to quit speaking Sputnik. That was I love that one. So that was a fun one. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. Guys, go back and check out Rounders if you haven't. 1998. It's a classic. It kind of went under the radar at the time, but certainly built up a cult following, I think.
Joey Knish, Worm, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Teddy KGB, some great names. Drama.
You got a little Famke Janssen in there, too. Little X-Men.
He was very hot in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is it Famke Johnson or Famke Johnson?
Famke?
Well, who's Rush? Didn't she play a Russian in one of the 007 movies?
She might have. I did not see that one, but I
some people said her Russian was over the top too. So
hers was over the top. Can anyone get the Russian? I do like Malkovich, man. I thought that character was supposed to be that intense. It was supposed to be calm and
I thought he did a good job. I mean, the Russian was like a little bit over the top, and I think he was leaning towards Arnold Schwarzenegger's appearance in the movie Red Heat when he played the cop a little bit more. But I think that that's unfair for Malkovich, being that Arnold's from where? Austria, so he's closer to Russian, and that I don't know that dialogue. Who knows? But it was a tough one, surely.
Yeah. And guys, if you are looking for a movie not to go and watch, that's a Russian character, I would say stay away from Jude Law as Putin. We covered that one.
Oh my God.
That's just it's not even worth your attention. That's the CIA propaganda machine at play, giving us the guy that's going to take over the world. And we're still waiting for that to happen. Meanwhile, you got our greatest ally on the planet actually doing the taking over thing. That thing they told us Putin was doing, that's actually happening. But this is the guy we give red carpet treatment to and standing ovation. So it's everything's mixed up. So that's how we are. That's how it goes, guys. It's a bizarro world.
I will not argue with you that the evidence is definitely leaning a lot more towards Netanyahu than it is Vladimir Putin. But I still believe there's a cabal above them. The cabal that last scientist was talking about, that's been around, that's the system for so long. And really, to say the truth, what we have to be aware of more than anything, like we can debate that, right? Whatever, left and right. At the end of the day, they're bloody murderers, the Zionist entity. They're trying to expand their territory. That needs to be stopped. But we have to be careful what we have a lot of inside knowledge about, what we understand, especially on this show, The Homeless Left, is that the Democrats are prepared to come back around and start seizing power. Ro Khanna was saying the other day, and they played the clip on Judge Napolitano, about him pretty much stating that you won't see a Democratic president with Netanyahu in the war room like you see Trump with him in the war room. So they're already trying to make those differences when we know very damn well Antony Blinken, Joe Biden, they funded and supported this genocide. It's the system itself. The other day on my radio show, I didn't have one yesterday, but the one last week, Matt, somebody called in. There's now being a big push for Buttigieg. He's in the top 3, according to Kalshi and Polymart. We got to watch with this guy. We had videos from almost 7 years ago, 6.5, 7 years ago, with Fiorella going at him, me asking him questions. He's an Israel has a right to exist guy. He takes money. He might not take money from AIPAC, but he is a Zionist-friendly dude who does get funded heavily, ex-military intel. So we got to be ready for these Democrats that are starting to swing around on every single fucking turn and every single corner. Big difference between the marches in Minnesota, which I believe were organic, versus the marches for No Kings, which are funded by Soros and other entities as well that are part of the cabal.
Well, let's get into what's going on right now. I know we want to get an update on what's happening in Tehran directly, and we've been seeing all the other chaos happening in Lebanon, and there's even some activity in Syria. We're talking about Israel taking more and more, annexing more and more land. We know that what's going on. I'm going to get into the story with you later on the Argentina, the annexing of land there as well. And it just seems like it's happening everywhere. But Tehran, this is the target we've seen that Trump has targeted, that we've targeted these last several months. Trump has been several different times, not just one time, several times, threatening to take out the entire civilization. And he's doing it at the snap of his finger. Access to nukes. There's been talk that he's wanted to get the nuke codes. There's little rumors going around in circles there. Craig, what is the sentiment right now happening in the streets of Tehran? Because we know that the people there are courageous. They're tough-skinned. They're ready for whatever comes. But is there anything changing there as far as their ability to stay strong right now?
Well, I would say no. My connection that I have in Iran, very much, wanting to end the ceasefire, because he doesn't believe there is anything such as a ceasefire, that it's just the United States and Israel taking a pause to regather their troops, regather their weaponry to strike again. And he's one of those people like, enough of this ceasefire, let's go, let's get this over with. That doesn't mean that there's death and destructions inside, the streets of Tehran. We saw recently a hospital being bombed. And that was very much in the beginning of the war, and they released it finally for the people to see. So there is a sense of, okay, let's be careful. In fact, right now, with the ceasefire about to run out, not extended, the Strait of Hormuz closing down, the back and forth with the cargo carriers, you know what I'm saying, where the Iranians just took a couple cargo ships, an eye for an eye when they retaliate. And that's going to be the eye for an eye if Donald Trump tries to hit their power plants. I mean, they know that. They're holding the cards right now. But people are still leaving the city right now. There's a lot of people who are leaving the city. It's not a monolith, right? We've talked about this before. There is a small faction, Matt, that wants the Shah, his son, to come back into play. They want the monarchy back. They want the West back in. They want that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a majority of people, still support this government. And there were the people who were on the fence were pushed towards supporting this government after the U.S. bombing campaign. However, you're going to have a couple different people, right? My source even told me, he goes, I wish I had the heart of some of the way these people have their heart. You know what I'm saying? In other words, there are people who are just not leaving Tehran, right? They're getting out in the streets every single day, young people, old people. Our good friend Wyatt Reed was in a rally the other day, and he was mainly concentrating on young people, showing you how the mentality of these people, how they live. They're not afraid. You can't defeat somebody who's not afraid to die. And they're not, because they understand if you don't take on this entity now, you'll be in change your whole life. Let's go. Let's take this on. And if I die for this cause, for the Iranian country, for the I don't want to say the Ottoman Empire, the Persian Empire, whatever the case, whatever you want to call it, right? If you die for this cause, it's a cause worth dying for. So they're still constantly getting out in the streets, but there is a faction, they're heading outside of Tehran because they're nervous again that they're going to start bombing bridges, hospitals. And like I've told you before, and I said on this show, when I asked my source, he goes, well, they're pretty much bombing hospitals and schools. We knew on day one the disgusting murder of all these schoolgirls, we knew about that. But the hospitals, now we see releasing of the hospitals. When I asked my source, I said, why are they doing that? His answer was, because that's what they do. We in Israel are the terrorists.
Yeah. And so this is scenes right now. It's looking like they're getting, they're letting us know that they're in the streets, ready to fight. I mean, we've seen this type of sentiment before. But yeah, this is they've been sending us messages like, hey guys, by the way, we've also heard this message coming out from them as well, that they're saying we're not your enemy, American people. We're going against the ruling class that controls you. So we're actually on your side.
Matt, can you sing it?
Yeah.
Sing it, Bubba.
Yeah, no, that's
we love you. I saw it today. It was like amazing, right? We love you, Americans. It's not our beef with you. Yes, dude, they are freaking marketing that, and they're telling us that. I got a chance to go on Rick Sanchez, and it was great because Rick Sanchez was recently in Iran, and you could see how they love, oh, you're American. They're giving them that. They love the American people. They love the American spirit, but they know better than our citizenry. We are completely captured by a bunch of pedophile cult, cult. What did the last scientists call it? The cabal. That is running America right now. The Iranians know that. They're trying to express it to us. They love us. They love the people. Matt, I'm just so inspired, and I hope this really kind of moves people because we need to make some changes here at home. It's going to get fucking crazy. Sorry to interrupt you, by the way, but
no, not at all. I think that the American people are being educated by this because they have it on their cell phones, right? We've had that ability to scroll on our own and find different ways that we can connect and actually have communication with the people on the ground. We haven't been able to do that in past wars. And you start to think about that, right? You start to think about that mechanism we have the ability to do. That's why they're coming on strong on censorship and deplatforming and all these things, because they know that that's the last thing they want us is to have access to what's really happening and have actual conversations with people, and not just your source on the ground, but we can see it. We can see them talking to us, telling us when we say death to America isn't death to Americans. But I think people are realizing that it's death to the elite pedo class. And that's why they burned the statue of Baal in the street, because they're trying to rescue us as well from these elite pedophiles, that warmongers that run the planet, the ruling class, as it will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't want to, I want to give some updates on what's happening at, Lebanon and Syria too. But do you have anything else you want to share from your source on the ground there? Anything that
there's a few things I'd like to discuss, Matt, because I want to get your opinion on it. I'm not going to be too long to it. I know this might eat up the majority of the time, and I'm restricted for staying on schedule, so let's stay on schedule. Come on, Fiorella is my partner. We had an Iranian section the other day. It lasted an hour and 32 minutes. Okay, so first off, I think there's two things that the Iranian people are looking at from a military aspect. They're arming themselves because they understand through their media and what they've been told that they are moving more American troops into the area. So the possible ground invasion could be there. They also know possibly that their energy supply, right, could be hit. Their oil fields, their electrical grid, their natural gases, all that stuff, the water desalination plants. They understand that that's been threatened by Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, bombing back to the Stone Age. And I think the last option is they understand that a nuclear bomb could be dropped upon them, right? Like that's, they're crazy enough to get there. You even mentioned Donald Trump. I think Larry Johnson said that it was a general that stopped him. He was trying to get a hold of some codes and wanted to, nuke the place. And it wouldn't surprise me if the ruling class above him would give him the go ahead to do it. It wouldn't surprise me if he really had the say so and did it himself. I mean, the guy's, excuse my French, batshit crazy. But those are the three options they're dealing with, and they're preparing for all of them. Now, I think they understand a ground invasion, right? If it was just to be that, if they weren't going to bomb their power plants, let's say the United States empire, but they're like, okay, let's not bomb their oil fields, let's not bomb their power plants, let's get in there, take over, regime change. Therefore, all that stuff is a great asset to us in the future. We stop China with their, Belt and Road Initiative, which is corridors like crazy through Iran. It's very important to them, which, I'll make a comment of China down the road, but they say, let's just go in for a ground invasion. You got to look at Iran at a topographic map. You got to understand what's going on. You have to look at old gamings, Matt, where they war game this thing out. And guess what? Iran won almost every single time. The terrain is like a built-in fortress. And for us to do this, we would need such a coalition of different countries, and there's going to be deaths across the board when it comes to this coalition because there's just so many nooks and crannies and everywhere they can hide. And guess what? They've been preparing for this for quite some time. So that's why they are also arming the citizenry, because the majority of people have this nationalistic feeling and they want to stand up and fight against the invaders. They can look just next door to them in Iraq and see what happened in Iraq, what turned into that country. And they know damn well if they were going to capitulate and put their knee down, that would happen to them at home. So they are preparing for that. The other part, I think they understand, they also hold the cards. When I talked about knocking out the energy system, well, you know what my source told me? He goes, well, they know the United States can't do that. If they hit our energy supplies, and when I talked about this before, it's a decentralized energy supply. The most that one power plant gives energy to is 8% of the population, right? They got 15 of these other sources all around the country, different spots. So you can't just hit one. You got to hit many. And it's going to be very difficult, very hard to do it. The terrain, we will lose ships, we will lose airplanes, we will lose troops, and it would be very hard for us to knock out all their energy. But more than that, they're holding the most strongest card of all. They've said to the Trump administration, hey, you hit our energy supply, we're going to black out the whole region. How is Donald Trump going to go explain to the UAE, to Qatar, to the Saudis, right? To Jordan, to all these other countries, Kuwait, hey, man, I'm sorry, you got no electricity, because it's very different from those countries. They have more centralized power grids, and the Iranians have shown they can hit them, right? Yeah. We have to understand, despite all these people going, China is really pulling the strings here. No, America wants a war with China. They're trying to egg China on too as well. But the Iranians, Matt, and this is something my friend told me that is so important, the West rose up on the shoulders of the United States' success. Asia is now rising up on the success of China. The Iranians don't want the Chinese and the Russians fighting this war. They want to do it themselves because they understand moving forward, if they do this by themselves and they have the ability to beat back the empire, they get a whole different seat at the table moving forward when it comes to China. Rather be their lackey, rather be just their proxy, they get to sit at the table with the big boy pants, and they get to demand more. That's how important this war is to those people. They understand this, they know this, and they are ready for the task moving forward. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Sounds like that they are so confident they can do this. They see the light at the end of the tunnel, that they will succeed here, and they don't actually need that assistance. Do you think that if it looked like we had any ability to have any cards at play, which we don't, but if we did, if we actually had chips at the table to play, would they reconsider that? Because wouldn't it the most important thing is to beat the empire? Second most important thing would be a seat at the table, or are you saying that the seat at the table is just as important here?
Well, the seat at the table only comes when you beat back the empire, right? When you take on the empire. So I think they go hand in hand. But I do think fam, I called you. I do think fam, it's your birthday, right? I do think, Matt, that there is the card that the Americans can play, and it's a suicide card, is nuclear weapons. I think there's always that fear over there, and that lingers in the back of their mind. But they've already made that choice. We'd rather be slaves, right, than give up to the United States empire. You know what I'm saying? We'd rather have them kill us than give up to the United States empire, because we don't want, you know what I'm saying? They're going to go fight no matter what. You know, if the United States can somehow get in there, you know, nuke half the country, then get in there, take the other half, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to stop fighting until the very end. You know what I'm saying? They understand that. Then rather than capitulate, they want to go all the way. And here's the thing too, also, Matt. I said that China is not the major guy pulling the strings, neither are the Russians, and I still believe that. But they do have help. There is a resistance. There's an Iraqi resistance that's building up more and more every single day. There's a Syrian resistance that's building up more and more every day. Yemen's involved, right? So, I mean, they have other people. Lebanon, Hezbollah, they do have a coalition of sorts that they are leading, but they're ready to go balls to the wall over there. They're not going to give up under any circumstances.
I mean, that's I could see that, and maybe Iraq would be a good ally there. I would say all those other ones are great, other than the fact that Israel is currently annexing all those places as we speak. I mean, we just saw this on Syria right now. This is that they're literally invading right now, occupying Syrian land and boasting and bragging about it. Just so people know, this is happening in Syria right now. And I do think, Pasta, I do think that there's an element of speed going right now from Israel. They're saying, let's see how much we can get away with, because they might be aware that their clock is ticking down. That's how it kind of seems like, because this is happening. And then we talk about Lebanon. Things are happening so much quicker than we saw in Palestine. Even, I mean, we saw an entire land turn into a parking lot over like 2.5-3 years. But in the time span since February, March, Lebanon had this happen in a lot quicker of a time. This is Lebanon, guys, not Gaza.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep that on, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
This is Lebanon.
It's purely disgusting. I had a friend today, Matt, that we decided to only talk food and football, because I'm starting to lose my fucking patience right now. This is disgusting what's going on. These American missiles, American weapons doing this, and we're sitting back like it's okay, because it's okay to demonize, radical Islam. Well, how many bombs of Christian and Israeli nations, Jewish supremacist nations, have dropped and killed women and children? I'm not okay with this anymore, and nobody should be. And a shame on the freaking fake Christians of the Trump who still support Trump when he's doing this. This ain't Israel. This is us together with Israel. It's American bombs, American ingenuity. Israel would not be able to do this without our help. Plain and simple, point blank.
Yeah.
And
then on top of that, you have the ceasefire problems, which we've seen obviously a paper trail every single time there's negotiations. Israel, the U.S. Breaks that agreement, and even Lebanon is noticing this. So as that's all happening, they're saying, Lebanon National Center for Scientific Research, they're reporting that Israel has violated the ceasefire 220 times. It's pretty phenomenal. And then you have our media, Western media, spinning it that why doesn't Iran want to show up to the table? That's weird. Like they're not. So we're gonna have our guys fly all the way across the world, and they're not going to be in the meet. No, because every time you show up to the meeting room, you murder the people in the room. Yeah. And if you don't murder them in the room, you bomb them on their flight back home. So this is where we're at now. But I just want to show people don't know that like the 220 times, this is what's being reported right now by the Lebanese National Center of Scientific Research.
Quite close. We're just outside the hospital. That felt very close and was obviously incoming. And some of the emergency service workers, incredibly, are starting to get into ambulances, I think, to respond to that. Okay, we go. Okay, let's go.
Go.
Inside the hut.
200 yards. Go.
At this point, we are not aware that this was the first in a whole series of strikes all around the hospital. We ran towards the building itself. The paramedics ran in the opposite direction, with tears still drying from their colleagues' funeral.
So, Pasta, can I go back to that question with you? I wonder this because you're seeing that they are saying we can do this on our own, but we don't want if China and Russia are part of this, it's not gonna we're not gonna be as looked at as you know the guys that pulled this off. So they'd rather go to these other countries and get those people stepping up, but they're in countries that are a lot worse off that they could that to expect them to even bring anything to the table that Iran already doesn't have. I guess that's my question. If Iran already has their fighters, what are they going to get from these countries that are suffering right now from Israel's attacks, Israel's occupation, Israel's genocides? They're doing in all of these places simultaneously, but they're saying no to countries like Russia and China who could obviously do a lot more as far as provide something positive, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to point out Russia and China do provide some assistance to Iran. You know what I'm saying? But the majority of the weapons used are manufactured and made by the Iranians, right? And like I said, they don't want the Chinese necessarily to come in full-fledged. And I don't even know if the Chinese would do that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make the point where people are saying that, you know, China is calling all the shots from behind the scenes and is really controlling. That's the point where I'm like, no, there is a war that with China that is on the table for the United States. It's obvious that going after Iran is also going after China the same way, right? You're going to close down all these corridors that deeply depend on roads and railroads going through Iran. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that they're the majority of fighting. Now, the other countries, it's not that they're just providing aid to Iran. They're also fighting for the same cause, their own salvation, their own sovereignty. You just imagine the resistance in Iraq, for how long they've been sitting there and waiting for their opportunity to do this, right? They're also fighting for their own country. Lebanon, Hezbollah, all these, they're also fighting for their own country. There's a faction in Syria that's not going along with removing Assad, that's been hanging out in different regions, waiting for this to happen. They're fighting for their own sovereignty. So it's not as if they're just going to help Iran. They're also in it to help themselves with the common goal of pushing back the Zionist entity and the United States empire. So there is a collaboration of sorts, but everybody's fighting for their own needs. Now, the only one that you can say is not really fighting for their own needs right now might be Yemen, but Yemen knows better. They know the United States. They know the Israelis. They know what they've done. You know, and all along, China is still selling pieces and it has a trade agreements with Israel. They have trade agreements with the UAE. Yeah. They have trade agreements with Qatar. So they're like the Americans, what they did in World War II when they were funding both the Nazis and the Russians. And it wasn't the Russians, the Soviet Union at the time. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the same fucking thing. So even though there's the interest for themselves, Iran understands who China is. They understand who Russia is. You know what I'm saying? So they're fighting for their own lives and their own sovereignty in all these countries.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's, you know, you think in a different universe or another reality, you would have you know, Xi Jinping, or you'd have Putin, particularly Putin, because he's got leverage right now, right? He could leverage the Ukraine war. I think Sky Ritter indicated this as a possibility, that you would have Putin that could negotiate a way out of this conflict by leveraging what he has on the table for the, you know, to end the Ukraine war, to say, hey, you do this or we do this, I can then go to the table with Iran and get this thing done, because they're not going to show up and listen to Trump's demands. We know that. I mean, this is the starting point, and I'm glad we start with that. We say, look, we have 0 chips on the table, so it's really what Iran wants to do. It's really on them. Do they want to do it? So I would say Putin would be in a position where he could go and discuss with sit down with Iran and say, here's what I can bring to the table, because I have leverage on Trump, on the US, and I can maneuver something here to end this thing. Otherwise, how does this actually end without the nuclear annihilation? What are we talking about? What other possibilities if China and Russia remain where they're at right now? How does this end, Pasta?
I don't know how this ends, and you brought up some very interesting points, because I do also believe that China is still selling drone parts to Ukrainians. I'm not sure if that's still happening, if it's something that's ceased to exist, but China's got their fingers and they're selling shit all over the place. Like I said, they sold plenty of times to the UAE drones to kill the Houthis at one point back in the days. So that's very interesting. But the thing with Russia, it perplexes me, right? And I was on Rick Sanchez's show today, and he was talking about the approval rating of Putin. I think it's got to start dropping at some point or another, because I know a lot of Russians want this war over, right? And they feel like he's dragging his feet, and there's kind of this narrative within the Russians and the military men that they want to end this thing now, and they don't understand why the government's holding them back. They've thought for quite some time they're going to have to take Kiev or do something, because there's no way they're going to allow that government to exist on their border, and there's no way they can ever trust neo-Nazis who are Banderites, who are now so entrenched in the government. When he says he wanted to denazify it, well, then go fucking denazify it. Yeah. So I'm assuming there's got to be some pressure on Vladimir Putin for that. But let's not also forget, and this is the crazy thing, Strait of Hormuz was closed before this war. Was open before this war. Now it's been closed. And pretty much essentially, the Iranians have set up a toll booth. Well, that's actually helped their finances and their currency start to come back into play. Yeah, right. They're making so much extra money. Yeah. The Chinese are paying so much extra for their oil, and now it's been said that Russia's making an extra 50% on their barrels as well. What's going on? So there's a lot of money to be made in these countries, whatnot. That doesn't mean this thing should carry on and go on and stuff. But you never know what the motives are of some of these governmental people. It's not always necessarily going to be what's best for their citizens. Right now, I mean, I surely shouldn't talk shit on Vladimir Putin. His approval rating is somewhere in the 70s, and I'm saying, and that's not by Russians. That's by, I think the Germans have been measuring that, and they're not crazy about the Russians at all. So when they know that Putin's got this approval rating, it's for real. So I can't talk shit, but I mean, I don't know why he's dragging his feet, but while these people are dragging their feet, they're making a lot of money,
That's true.
China's making a lot of money with Israel with their trade. It's increased like crazy because they're all their rebuilding projects, everything's going through China. So
yeah. And you mentioned approval rating. I'd say that that's on one hand, yes, you could see the Russian people, the approval rating would probably start dipping on Putin right now. But here in the West, if you think about it, the time that has been kind of playing this long game, it seems that would only increase favorability in the West, because what's happening in the West here, as far as in our country goes, we're starting to notice more about our country being captured by Israel, and you're seeing that more vocal than even 4 years ago, right? When the Ukraine war started. So you have this well, wait a minute, who's actually taking over the world here? You're not looking. Putin isn't being associated with Hitler anymore. We even noticed this, Craig. We noticed on MSNBC that or what is it called? MS now or now and later or whatever. Yeah. So Maddow is not able to do the Putin thing as much anymore. In fact, when she talks about Trump being captured by foreign influence, she ends the sentence there and doesn't say what the influence is as she's showing shots of Jared Kushner going and representing us at the table with, you know, in terms of negotiating in the Middle East. And you're just like, does her audience understand now? Like that you can't actually have Putin be the bad guy, he's the guy controlling everything. So I'd say Putin might be aware of that and go, oh, the longer I wait, the people are actually looking at this and going, huh, they're not, I'm not such the bad guy, the Jude Law nemesis character, bad guy anymore here.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what their motivations are, but I'm still very cautious, Matt. Not too long ago, right when we went to war with Iran and it came out of this whole, meeting, Dick Blumenthal, Richard Blumenthal, #1 fucking senator out there, douchebag, was complaining that the Russians are like, helping Iranians kill Americans. And, I'm saying they would do anything to still blame Russia. And they don't want to let go of it. So I'm never going to trust. Yeah, I'm never going to trust. I mean, and that's their role. That's what they're paid to do, Matt. It's not them. It's who's paying them. I mean, they are obviously the stenographer for them, but that's what it's meant to be. Republicans hate Chinese. The Democrats hate Russia. That's the roles you play. And once again, I don't have any I love Putin t-shirts. Well, I have it. I just don't wear it. It was only a joke to troll people, but I'm not an ideologue, right? I'm not into Xi Jinping as far as just being a communist ideologue. I mean, they play their global capitalism, if anything, you know what I'm saying? And they have a very mixed economy.
By the way, you have the hat to go with the shirt. We saw it up front.
Yeah.
So
I do. But what I'm saying is that, I don't subscribe to any like entity the way you see a lot of people out there like Ben Norton who are big ideologues. No matter what China does, it's got to be good. It's communism, blah, 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 blah. I don't do that. But at the end of the day, we should be having a Congress that wants to have peace with the other side that has the nuclear bomb, not try to saber rattle. And it's just so much. It just makes you think that if you look at this on the surface, that there's still a big part of the Clinton entity that's running the Democratic Party. They were the ones who got, what's his name, the fall down drunk Yeltsin to be the president, open up the markets. They were walking around in Moscow with mink coats, and they're like, we got it. We're starting to balkanize this country. We've been trying to do it for fucking years, if not centuries. We've been trying to balkanize. There's so many rich resources in Russia, 16 time zones. We got it. And all of a sudden, I don't know if it was necessarily, I heard there was an oligarch behind Vladimir Putin, but the hardliners were cool with it. We're getting Putin in when he was more of a nationalist. He kicked them out, and it seems like they've been irate and seething and drooling at the teeth and foaming at the mouth. The Democrats are to get Russia back, so they've made Vladimir Putin look like Thanos. Now, with that being said, it ain't all fucking roses over there. There are oligarchs in Russia that have a lot of power, right? That have dual passports between Russia and guess where, Matt? Guess which country?
Israel.
Ah, you got it. So there is that entity that is there, that exists. You know what I'm saying? And, when Bernie Sanders goes, we can't allow Russian oligarchs to control. All right, well, fucking, if you're going to start there, Bernie, then go the whole way. Yeah. Don't sit there and tell me that Israel has a right to fucking exist if you're going to play that card. So although the fact that the Democrats do sometimes have some points with some of the oligarchs and whatnot, they're not going the whole way, because at the end of the day, Democrats, Republicans protect the Zionist state and will support the Zionist state no matter what. So a half-truth is not a truth. And that's what we need to fucking understand when they start talking shit. And I don't ever trust these Democrats to not be fucking anti-Russian. It's in their DNA, Matt. It's in their fucking DNA. And the way they sell it, Putin hates gays. Look, I don't like fucking. I have my own experiences with RT in Minnesota. The culture war bullshit, Matt. They are very conservative. They don't like what they consider to be the woke Democrats. But you know what I'm saying? And it bothered me like crazy because they didn't want to take the truth of what was really going on in Minnesota. I felt like they went away to avoid it. Okay, that is fucking true. But that's not worthy enough to go to fucking war and saber rattle with a fucking nuclear entity. We should be searching for peace despite those differences in our culture.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go to the Argentina story with Israel. This is a good one. But first, let's throw up a couple super chats.
Ooh,
and this is nice. Chats. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Thank you, Jose. Happy birthday, Matt. Hope you enjoy your special day. You're doing great work. Thank you so much. Really appreciate super chat. We know we get here's our friend Citizen, birthday boy. What is this, J Matt? Unless I filled the DeLorean, you'll never convince me humans will ever master gravity, time travel, or even weather. Okay, no, that's fair enough. But the technology and information is available. In theory, we should be able to do it, but not because if we're getting the ruling class, the elite, the pedo class ruling us. They're not. They don't want us to evolve to they don't want us to evolve to a place where we can have that much ability to expand our humanity and have our own
they don't want free energy ever.
Yeah,
never exactly. Free energy ever. If that hydrogen, water, whatever, never. And by the way, I have 2 words to say to that super chat, Matt.
Go for it.
Great Scott.
Marty, you got to come back with me.
Marty! The Libyans! Even the Libyans.
The Libyans.
The Libyans.
It's the Libyans. Run for it, Marty. Well, you did steal their plutonium, Doc. Come on, man.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? What were you thinking? All right. Okay. Let's get to this one. This is good. This is an interesting one. Okay. So apparently, hold on, let me grab my thingamajig here. Okay, here we go. Well, apparently Israel and Argentina are BFFs. That's what it looks like. We call them the Milowski boys. Why are we calling them Milowski boys? Well, they each seem to have the exact, or at least their fathers had the exact same name. Total coincidence. We're talking about President Javier Milei going to Jerusalem. He's been there since the 19th. This is his arrival. This was over the weekend. Oh my God.
You know what that means? It means friend. Yeah, good friend. Yes. Yeah? My dear friend. And thank you for the kind words you said. And you shall hear what I have to say about you. First to my office. Another one? Another one. Yes. Please. Right. Yeah. And actually, it's good to see you. Really good. It's wonderful for me. Warms my heart. Please sit down. Please. This is you. Yes, exactly.
How many autographs do you think he signed for him? He was so happy. Milei was so happy to be in those pictures. Thumbs up. Everything looks good. So what was the first order of business? What happened? Well, it looks like Israeli airline AI to begin direct flights to Argentina by the end of the year. Huh. Well, that's kind of nice for anybody that wants to get out of Israel. I'm sure there's going to be some great discounts on one-way flights, if you know what I'm saying. The deal was announced during their press conference in Jerusalem. Here it is. Oh my God, we have a plane.
What do you say?
Oh, okay. Fun. This is fun.
After that, I will return to the plane. Looks well here? Yes. Okay.
Oh, it's so exciting. So we're going to have this direct flight by the end of the year. That sounds awesome. But there's something more nefarious going on here, obviously. Let's let Hotspot tell us a little bit more on this. So it looks like Javier Milei and Benjamin Netanyahu, they're planning to build Israeli proxy states all over South America. Huh? Isaac Accords explained. Yep. And if you guys don't know, we covered this on the show. Argentina was plan B. You guys know the history, the Nakba, 1948. That was plan A. They pulled that off. If that wasn't going to happen, if there was a problem with the British government and the documents or whatever, if something went wrong, they had a plan B in place, and it was the beautiful rainforest in Argentina. And of course, they would murder and kill and pillage and rape anybody in there as well, burn alive. There might not have been as many casualties, but you do this, you would just do the same thing there, but they ended up doing it in Plan A, which was Palestine, and creating the state of Israel. So, yes, he's completely serving his masters, the Zionist masters. I want to play this little video before you chime in, Pasta, from our friend of the show, Nick Cruz with Hotspot. Here we go.
Milei of Argentina meets with Benjamin Netanyahu in order to craft the Isaac Accords, the Zionist plan to conquer South America. Javier Milei essentially wants to create Israeli proxy states all over South America. And Javier Milei sold out his own people and using them as test subjects for this new Zionist plan. He plans on importing over 300,000 Israelis and create an Israeli proxy state within Argentina. So while Argentina faces financial ruin and their people are forced to eat donkey meat, the priority of their libertarian tech bro leader is to serve his Jewish masters and help expand Zionism. He even passed one of the most restrictive anti-Semitism laws in the world, essentially criminalizing Palestinian activism and all criticism of Israel. This is what libertarians want for all of us, for us to be slaves to the Zionist Epstein elite. This was their boy. Libertarianism fails everywhere it has been tried. Lula of Brazil is far from perfect, but can you imagine the shit that South America would be in and how much stronger the Isaac Accords would be if Jair Bolsonaro, the goy slave of the state of Israel, was in charge of the largest economy in South America? The entire region dodged a massive bullet.
So, and the one thing I will tag on, which he didn't cover in that video, but we have on this show, is that the fires that broke out just a few months back in Argentina, those fires seem to have been deliberately started by Israelis who went there to start the fires and annex land. So this is already starting to take place. This weekend was about what was the photo op, the PR campaign, and getting these flights ready to take people on one-way flights out of Israel. Craig Pasta, why on earth would there be such a demand for flights leaving Israel anytime soon?
Relocation with a quiet colonization plan in the background to take up land, whatnot, because you have a puppet president to Israel. And you know, there's a lot of things to unpack over here, but I definitely would say that that's what they were starting to plan to do, whatnot. And, you know, there has always been plans to colonize parts of Latin America. And that's why I believe that Donald Trump coming into play was going to be all about, you know, spending a lot of time and energy and terrorizing people in Latin America. And he hasn't stopped. So, I mean, what he's doing to Cuba, he's blowing up boats again. And he's in Ecuador running game. The Argentinians are now on board. But by the way, you know, libertarianism, right? Libertarianism, their economic plan is capitalism. So this is another form of vulture capitalism coming in. I would think that a lot of the libertarians would argue that this isn't the capitalism they want, but there is a very serious systemic problem with trying to ingest some form of a small government and cutting out social programs. I wouldn't say that this is more about libertarianism. I'd say this is more about annexing and getting rid of the social programs, the socialism they have there. You just can't do that. You know, you can't go in there and start cutting all these services because people are so dependent on these services to eat, to live, whatnot, that if you pull out the umbilical cord, you're going to have a lot of starving people in the streets. And people don't realize, and libertarians need to hold their head down, the ones that did support them, because there are a lot of people that are anti-interventionist. The Ron Paul part of libertarianism, the non-economical part, does not like what's going on as far as Israel is concerned. There's a big contingency within that party that are very, very upset at what's going on and don't like the fact that some of their top brass people supported Donald Trump simply because of the Zionism. The Javier Milei has now handed over the country to that BlackRock and the IMF. The track and control systems are going to come into play like never before over there in Argentina. Yep. $57 billion in debt they are. They have the highest debt now than any country out there to the IMF. The inflation has gone crazy. And in fact, Matt, you have people out there, and this is one of the beef capitals of the world, them and Uruguay. They're pushing people to eat donkey meat. That's how things are bad or things are getting right now in Argentina. They did this whole thing where they had a newscaster have to try it and eat it, whatnot. I mean, this is getting crazy over there. But, at the end of the day, we're going to have to see what the Argentinians do to kind of pull themselves up. They're suffering a lot more than Americans are because they've had a lot of social programs cut. And I don't care what system you want to go to. If you try to do what Javier Milei is doing and then you sell your country out to the IMF and BlackRock, your society is fucked. And I think you're going to hear from the people of Argentina. What's going on in Venezuela right now, people aren't talking about it as well. A small group of people, it's brewing, and it's going to erupt there. People think, oh, Donald Trump waved a magic wand. That new government is letting the IMF in. They've agreed to take off the nationalization of their oil and open up the markets and stuff. There's a small uprising bringing up there right now that's going to make a lot of noise, and I suspect you're going to see the same thing in Argentina because they ain't Americans. They ain't Americans, and these people have revolution built in their bones. So beware and watch out, Javier Milei and the little your Zionist entity, because you're going to start something crazy. And I met a lot of people from Argentina in Nicaragua. You know what I'm saying? The person that they wanted was the person that they jailed. And once again, the West got involved and they were able to frame this woman so she couldn't run. Her name is Christine. She was the vice president last time. There was an attempt on her life. It failed. That's who the majority of people, and I believe, what I was told from my people, I haven't gone to Argentina yet, but a lot of people wanted her, and instead they got stuck with this fucking clown. Yep. And he is nothing more than a fucking clown.
Oh, yeah. And he is so eager to get back to his people in Argentina, and he's, ready to listen to what they want. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what he's doing. You know what he's doing right now? He's doing this. This is right now. He's still hanging out in Israel.
Yeah, that was the kissing of the wall. I forgot to mention that's in my notes.
We got it. We got the tape. We got the tape.
Matt, when you were talking about the NASA scientists, who they're going to blame it on, I was in the backhand screaming China. Screaming China. I'm like, Daddy, I love you. I love you. Happy fucking birthday.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Man, I miss you, brother.
Cool, man. No,
I mean, not just miss you. I get to do the show with you, and I'm very thankful to do that, and thankful all to the people who are following my friend Matt Weinglass, because he is more than just a colleague. He's a friend. Man, I just love to break bread with you and Les, and congratulations for everything, brother, and the success of this show. I just wish the powers that would be, and we're going to probably make some announcements tomorrow. We're going to have to refund everybody on our Give, Send, Go because they won't give us the money. It doesn't look like YouTube's going to remonetize us. It's really fucking tough doing this stuff, guys. So when I saw those super chats of those people giving you the love for your birthday and what you do, thank you, guys. Matt deserves it. He works his fucking ass off. He brings something very unique to this whole fucking this entertainment aspect that's very, very important, because once they stop censoring us, because the cream rises to the top and they have to let us go, and that's what we have to keep fighting for. The ceiling. Today's NFL draft, Matt's one of those guys. It's like it's a low floor, high fucking ceiling, man. And it's been great working with you, brother. I love it every single time we do the show.
Likewise, my friend. Thank you for setting such a high bar and inspiring me to do this in this space, and let us know that we're not on our own, that there is a community, not a tribe. It's a community, and our viewers we know the difference. And that difference is very clear because we're all non-tribal. We're all using our critical thinking skills, and I appreciate your friendship and your leadership in that department. We're gonna keep doing it. We're not stopping anytime soon. So thanks, Craig, Pasta, Jardula, for coming on today. And we'll stay in touch on the next stuff coming up soon. You'll have a Truth Wire tomorrow. Is that right?
We're gonna have a Truth Wire tomorrow, unless I'm told we don't have one, but more than likely we'll have one. We'll talk to our people who made those donations. And I mean, once again, this is another step in censorship and demonetization. It's like a couple $2,300 or 22 something, right? People donated directly to us. They won't release it. They won't give us an answer why. We understand why. We've been down this road before. We reapplied for YouTube. We were like 17 times the charm. Nothing. We haven't heard anything back. I don't think we'll get the monetization back for the Truth Wire. It sucks, but that's the world we live in. So we just keep fighting no matter what. We just got to keep fighting.
All right. Thanks, my brother. Thanks
Happy
so
birthday,
much.
brother. I remember when I was 28. Go
Yeah,
Faker.
right. I remember too. Okay. All right. See you later, man.
Later, buddy.
All right, bye. Craig Pasta Jardula, everyone. Doing the birthday episode for us. Of course, we don't stop working just because it's our birthday. Craig Pasta Jardula was also working on his birthday and doing the hard stuff. 365 days a year. Well, I can't say 365 days a year. Of course, we got to take a breather once in a while, but we're not going to make excuses just because it happens to be our birthday. But I appreciate the birthday love from you guys today. We have more show coming up for you guys. We got some good show coming up. You're just joining us now. Now's the time. You guys can go back and watch the stuff we just did with Craig. We did some other stuff before that. We talked about the anti-gravity scientists all keep getting killed. We just got word that 2 more have been murdered. 2 more. I think that they're counting number 13 and 14. Just saw that on our feed. Oh my God, it's not stopping. They're just offing every one of them. They're just as frequent as Israel offs journalists. It seems that there's a mechanism that is in place that's offing these scientists too. So we'll keep an eye on that story. But here's what we have coming up after the break. It's just I'm going to give you guys a quick 2.5 minute. Go grab a drink or something. Come on back. When we get back, we got a This Week in HOLLYWOKE. It's a good one. We also have We Know What It's Not. We're going to look more at that CDC pick and what the hell is going on with RFK Jr. Plus top censored news of the week. We actually might do that one right when we come back. We're going to do top censored news of the week, the 3 stories that you might have missed. They didn't want you to hear. We're doing that. We're getting Leslie will be back on with Talking Back with Nurse Leslie. That's also coming up. And we'll end the show with Loudest Voice of the Week. So a lot more show coming up. It's the Homeless Left, Matt Weinglass, non-tribal approach to news. We'll see you guys back here about 2.5. All right, here we go. We're back, guys. We are back with some more Homeless Left for you. Welcome to our space. Welcome to our non-tribal space. Anybody out there who's feeling like they feel like the thing they were part of their whole lives doesn't feel the same, or something's off. You're not allowed to talk. You're not allowed to have critical ideas of your tribe or your team. You're not allowed to ask questions. We're calling this show Stop Asking Questions because that's what they kind of told us, right? They've been telling us that the whole time. And you know what? We're sick of it. We're sick of being told to get in line. Don't help out the other team. If you criticize your team, you're helping the other team. We're sick of that. That's not because the goals. I think what we do sometimes is we tend to skip over in a dilemma, whether it's personal or whether it's community based or globally based, whatever it is, whatever the level of the dilemma is that we are attacking that dilemma. We tend to have this problem of skipping the first step. We always go to, is this solution effective? Is it working? Or should we try something else? This solution to this dilemma seems effective. It seems to work. You don't want to start there, because when you say effective or this thing's working, what does that mean? What's working? What is effective? Effective for what? What are you talking about? When they told us that the vaccine was safe and effective at doing what? We skip the step about what are we trying to accomplish? What do we want? And that's on purpose. If we really stop and thought about it, whether it's a personal dilemma or a larger societal dilemma, we need to ask that question first. What is it that we want? What are we going for? And I think that that's how they get us into these team-minded play sets. This idea that the goal is to win and the other team to lose. So with COVID, and that's just an example. There's many examples, but with COVID, the example is, well, what effective or lockdowns effective? Effective at what? At what? At getting money on an upward transfer of wealth to the billionaire class? Yeah, it's very effective. Slowing the curve? What is that? Stopping the curve? What is that? The effectiveness of the vaccine, maybe the effectiveness was that they were able to get it out to the market and make money. That's what was effective. Keeping people in line, it was effective. So what is the goal? Keep people in line. Well, then it's effective. If the goal is our health, then it wasn't effective. But we don't talk about what is the goal. And if the goal was our health, then everything we did with COVID was wrong, because we didn't do anything about our health. Everything was about teaching us how to comply, fueling money into the upper echelon elite class, and keeping us dependent on big pharma for a lot of people for the rest of their lives. For some people, the rest of their short lives. So we need to ask that question in the next dilemma that comes up. And again, I'm not just saying societal dilemmas, personal dilemmas. If you have a personal dilemma come up, don't skip that step about what are we trying, what is the goal? Because if you're saying that if you're gonna do a quick fix or quick solution, like put a Band-Aid on a problem because the goal is what? To stop the bleeding? What if that's not the goal? What if stopping the bleeding isn't the goal? But you didn't take the time to ask yourself, maybe the goal should be get to the heart of the problem. Or if there's something you can't stop the bleeding from because it's inevitably the end, and you're talking about, whatever, end of life or something really intense like that. What if the goal is to have a comfortable state and a comfortable mind and a comfortable body before the end? What if that was the goal? But they don't tell you those are the goals. They tell you, this is an effective Band-Aid to extend something and keep somebody in agonizing pain for a little longer, because the goal is what? The goal is to see who can live the longest versus living comfortable and living in peace. So those are just good. I'm just throwing that out there for you, something for you guys to think about. Figure out what the goal is before you come up with a solution, or get on board with the solution that they present to you, and they tell you this is the thing that's going to work. This is going to be effective. The next time someone tells you this is going to be effective, it's going to work, ask them, effective at what? And then you can really start to have the conversation that needs to happen. What are we trying to do here? What is the goal? And then we can talk about what's effective after that. Okay. Just want to give you guys a little bit of that. Okay. We're going to get to top censored news right now. I think we're all set up for it. Yeah, these are some stories. This is good. We start doing this. We start doing this segment later in the show, because these aren't the stories that hit you in the face right away, right? So we want to show you guys there are stories that get brushed aside, maybe accidental, but most likely on purpose. Just give me 1 second here. And by the way, guys, I appreciate the birthday shout outs. There's a lot of good ones on here. We're going to get to some of those in just a moment here. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. Okay, I think we're set up. Here we go. All right. Time for top censored news of the week. Let's go ahead and start we'll kick off the little jingle. You guys like the jingle? I know you like the jingle. Okay, here we go. Uncanceled Comedy Collective presents Top Censored News of the Week. It's Top Censored News of the Week. We're bringing you the stories the mainstream media just refuses to cover. If they do cover them, they always do it in a very dishonest or sloppy way. And it's always on purpose. All right, coming in at number 3. The 8 Iranian women that Trump called Iran to spare their lives was 100% theater. All right, if you guys didn't hear about this one, you might have missed it. Here's what happened. We have a breaking news. The Islamic Republic is preparing to hang 8 women. What? And not a word from the international community or so-called human rights organizations. Well, thank you for shining a light on this for us. Eyal is giving us the real story here. And of course, President Trump jumped right on board this one. To the Iranian leaders who will soon be in negotiations with my representatives, I would greatly appreciate the release of these women. I'm sure that they will respect the fact that you did so. Please do them no harm. Would be a great start toward negotiations. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh, really? So all of a sudden, Trump cares about 8 Iranian women when you've been bombing them from the sky for the last several months. As your Secretary of War tells us, it's death and destruction, but not these 8 Iranian women. Okay, so what happened here? Well, here they are. Some were going online saying that these were AI. I don't believe they are, although they're very weird pictures, and I think that some people ran them through the AI machine and it looked a little fake. But let's go with that these are real women, okay? We'll go with it. So Trump is now saying that Iran won't execute the 8 women after he tweeted out on Truth Social. So I guess he's gloating about this now because he did a little tweet. They were going to kill 8 women, but because of that Truth Social I just read you, now they're not. So that's how excited Trump is here, and his base is loving the fact that he can tweet out commands to people that he's actively murdering in real time, that he can just tell them not to execute 8 women, and they'll listen to him, apparently. And this was his little follow-up tweet. Very good news. I've just been informed the 8 women protesters who are going to be executed tonight in Iran will no longer be killed. 4 will be released immediately. 4 will be sentenced to 1 month in prison. I very much appreciate that, Iran. As I'm murdering your civilians, and I literally threatened to end your entire civilization overnight, which would include not just the 4 that have been released immediately, but the 4 still in prison for another month, because all of them are part of the civilianship that you literally threatened and said you will end them. You will end the civil. Okay, so I very much appreciate this, that they respected his request. So, and they terminated the planned execution. Thank you to blah, 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 blah. Something doesn't add up here, guys. Something seems a little off about this. Well, why don't we tune into CBS, ZBS, recently acquired by Larry Ellison, Zionist Television, and we'll let them tell you the inside scoop on how this went down. Take it away, actress. Newscaster. I'm sorry. Yeah, journalist.
I am very emotional. Look, for me, it's not about politics. It is about people that I have heard their voices. I have seen their faces. I have known them for years and years, going to the streets simply protesting and demanding freedom. And being executed, being hanged, being killed for demanding freedom in 21st century, this is not acceptable. And that actually shows you pressure works. I have to say that my sources, my team has been working really hard. They confirmed, at least Bita Mati.
First of all, before you tell us about your sources, pressure works. That's the pressure is the original tweet on Truth Social. That's pressure. Oh, okay. So thanks for explaining to us how negotiations work. Because I thought what we do is we just bomb negotiators after negotiations, and then we bomb schoolgirls, innocent schoolgirls, and we triple tap them, actually, because we also have to kill their parents and the medical workers that come and tend to the dead bodies. And so that's what we do. So you're saying negotiations work, and your team knows this because they've done some investigation. Is that right?
And her husband. Let me just tell you their story, because it's not just name and numbers. A couple full of life. They are in love. Both of them, they went to the street. These are the people that actually, the woman was in Trump's list. So they were sentenced to death. Now, the Iranian regime backed down. I read the news on Iranian website. I couldn't believe them. Now.
Yeah, we can't believe it either. But go on.
President Trump said that actually this is something the Iranian regime showed it.
Right. So, okay. So you can't believe it that the Iranian regime would just all of a sudden let 8 women go that they were planning on executing. Because why? Oh, you mentioned that they were in the street. I guess that was a reference to the Mossad operation that took place, where the lying state media and the corporate media of the West told us that 30,000 people were murdered. So they were part of that. Is that what you're saying? They were part of that that PSYOP false flag operation, right? To manufacture consent for us to attack and go to war, go to World War III, basically, with Iran. That's what you're saying. They were part of that. Okay. So none of this really checks out. And then we found out this. 2 of the women that Trump called on from Iran to spare have already been released on bail. What? 2 of them from the pick, these 2 have already been released on bail? Yep, turns out that 2 of the 8 women Trump urged to spare from execution has already been released when he made the public appeal. So he was asking for something that had already happened, basically, and then gloating about the fact that he got it to happen, even though it already happened beforehand. So these were the 2 women, Golnaz and Venus, had already been on bail. So now this is clear. This is the key part. The status of the other 6 women was not immediately clear. So let's put on our deductive reasoning hats right now. So 2 of them we know for a fact were not even in custody at all. We don't have the status on the other 6. Trump is throwing out numbers that 4 are out now and 4 are still being held. And he's saying that the timeline is that since he did the tweet on Tweet Social, because none of that checks out on the timeline, and we don't know the status of the other 6 women, therefore we can conclude that none of this story has any substance whatsoever. And the fact that Trump would gloat about this immediately and say that, again, a country that we are in active mode of destroying their entire civilization, we're committing war crimes in real time for the last several months now. And we're to believe that not only that Trump has a heart for these particular 8 women, but none of the other ones that were raining bombs and destruction, death and destruction, according to Pete Hegseth, death and destruction every day, I might say. Every single day, death and destruction. That's our Secretary of War. So all of a sudden, 8 women he cares about, and now we get 2 of them don't check out. And then on top of that, he wants us to believe that we're the country with that, since we have no cards to play at all, which we know, that you tweeting something out is going to change the mind of this horrible regime that likes to execute women. That's going to do the trick, right? So we're to believe that these horrible people that are ready to kill these women are going to change their mind because you tweeted something. So again, none of it checks out. Throwing it out there. I will say one more time that there were people saying that those pictures were fake. They possibly could be. And I'm not even sure that all the women check out either, but we know that these 2, particularly these 2, aren't in custody right now. And that's enough for us to get this on top censored news of the week. Okay. Next story. Here we go. Coming in at number 2. Here we go. Number 2 story of the week. California's Democrat Party's failed healthcare bill exposes more than their inability to do their jobs, but the protection of the donor class or the uniparty. That's right. And if you guys haven't heard, this one is also not a very fun one at all. Here we go. From Power to the People. Democrats hold a supermajority in California, yet they just blocked a single-payer healthcare bill because, like the national party, the state parties are also corrupt and controlled by corporate interests. Voting blue does not bring democracy. It solidifies the capitalist oligarchy. That sounds about right. You kind of nailed it there. But let's see how the local news is reporting on this. Since we are here in California and we know it's vote blue no matter who state, we got to stop those Republicans at all costs. Well, how did you do on the healthcare bill, California, when you are literally living in a state that is 100% blue? Why couldn't you get this done? Let's hear.
California are outraged after Sacramento lawmakers blocked a major health care reform bill. The state assembly failed to advance AB 1900 or CalCare, which aimed to create a single-payer system. The California Nurses Association is calling the move a failure in leadership, pointing the finger directly at Democrats who hold a supermajority in the legislature. Despite support from over 300 organizations and 2/3 of voters, nurses accuse Democratic lawmakers of caving to corporate interests.
Caving to corporate interests. Yeah, that sounds like a nice way to put it, right? Caving to corporate interest. I don't know. It seems a little more going on to me, but let's hear how Political wants to spin this. Because this is how we grew up. We grew up thinking that when a Democrat policy like healthcare doesn't get done, the reason it doesn't get done is because either A, the Republicans are trying to stop it, or B, the Democrats pushing it are just bad at their jobs. I'm not kidding you. That's how we've been wired. Those two reasons and those two reasons alone. So let's see how Politico covers this here. So beating the dead single payer. Oh, that's the third reason. They're going to tell us. So it's either the Republicans trying to stop us, bad people in charge that don't know how to get stuff done. So incompetence, right? So it's either we're being stopped, it's incompetence, or worse, this is the worst one. It's the wrong time to do it. Uh-oh, here we go. You guys ready for this one? It was always a long shot, but single-payer healthcare has met its Sacramento demise yet again. Progressive Assembly member Ash Carla efforts to create CalCare, California's own form of universal health insurance, was so deep in the grave, it didn't even get referred to the Assembly Health Committee for a hearing that would have needed to happen today ahead of a key deadline. Go on. So even though it's a heavily Democrat state, well, let's be very clear here. It's 100% Democrat state when it comes to the people in charge that can actually do anything. All Democrat, all of it. CalCare has never made it through the Capitol. Is it because the Republicans are trying to stop us? Is it because the people in the leadership roles are bad at their job? Or is it the wrong time? I think it might be the wrong time. So this would have been the third try at this. Even though, and you got to talk about Newsom. Newsom campaigned on what? Universal health care. They all do. And they never do it. He moved away from the idea when he became governor instead of leaning into the fight to expand Medi-Cal to all income qualified undocumented immigrants. Okay, so he decided to take Medi-Cal and move that and make it an immigration issue, but he wasn't taking care of actual American citizens. It's so bizarre because you know that only creates more divide with the citizens of California and people looking on from the rest of the country as well. So now we're getting into the numbers. It's time to look at the numbers. Outside analysis, and this is it. The analysts are projected that this version of CalCare would cost about $731 billion. So of course we can't do it, guys. Of course. About $14 billion more than California is currently spent on healthcare. Really? So we're over budget by $14 billion. How many are we over budget on killing Iranians? A lot more than that, but that doesn't matter. That's why Hegseth just asked for another $200 billion to murder more Iranians. But this is always the reason they give us. We can't afford healthcare. We can't afford it. He says, I strongly believe that we need to take urgent action. These are just words, guys. No urgent action are being taken. Just to be clear. Passing single-payer legislation so California can begin the process that it will undoubtedly take years. If we know that every year we delay, compounds cost, pain, and suffering. So these are all the words to say. This is going to get him more money, more votes, but he's not going to actually do anything, okay? As we fight back against the unconscionable Trump, his healthcare cuts, which he did in the big, beautiful bill, we must also chart a path forward that does not have us return to the status quo. So this is just words, blah, 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 blah. now Assembly Member Mia Bonta, she comes in and hits the home run here. And I'm telling you, wait for it. Here it comes. She says the cost estimate was a very bitter pill for all of us to swallow. But as the state grapples with the rising premiums, the shrinking insurance coverage, and the yawning budget deficit, Bonta says the timing wasn't right. And there you go. What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Not now. Later. I think it would have been a really tough time to have that conversation. Newsflash, everyone. There is no right time to have the conversation, and they made sure of it. They made absolutely sure of it. So if you guys don't understand that this has always been the policies the Democrats put out there, and then they tell you we can't do it, it's a bad time, or we dropped the ball, or worse, the Republicans stopped us. They can't do the Republicans stopped us in California. Do you see that? They can't do that. So they have to go with what? It's not the right time. So has it ever been the right time since, I don't know, let me think back to the yes we can. I'm remembering. Do you guys remember the yes we can, hope and change? What was that, 2008? Let's go back and see what the policy of the Democratic Party was in 2008. Democrat Party platform in 2008. Democrats are united around a commitment. Every American man, woman, and child should be guaranteed affordable, comprehensive health care. Because we have a what? A health care crisis. Really? Back in 2008, we had a health care crisis. So Obama got in. He got the majority of the House and the Senate. And then what did we do? We didn't do the single payer. We did Obamacare, which was a Republican policy. You guys remember Mitt Romney came up with it in Michigan, Republican governor of Michigan, handed Obama the famous Obamacare policy, which was not single payer. So just so you know, that was on purpose to not ever have it. So this has always been a platform. If you guys haven't realized by now, well, I'll let Jimmy Dore explain it to you. This is what you get with an entire state completely controlled by Democrats, 100% corruption and government acting in the interest of money and against the citizens. There's no voting our way out of this. Nope. And voting Republican ain't going to fix it either. And that's about the long and the short of it, guys. And that's the top censored part of this story is they did it on purpose. And there's Joe and Kamala high-fiving to you guys, just so you remember, Democrats do not exist to stop Republicans. They exist to stop leftist movements from gaining power or political access for change. That's exactly right. And one more reminder about the two-party duopoly, uniparty. It's 100% controlled by Israel. I'll let you guys just process this about healthcare. Let's all stop arguing about healthcare, please, and stop it with. And I get it. You right wingers like to say socialism, communism doesn't work. It's like, you guys know that we've never ever tried it, right? We don't have any example of it in this country. We have examples in other countries, but we can see it working actually to a degree, aside from mandates and big pharma shit going on as far as infiltrating our health systems with poisonous medications and food. That's another story. But as far as access to healthcare, we've never had an example here, but we have plenty of examples of other people at least having that access, which we don't have here. Final reminder about the Democrat and Republican Party. I'll let Chuck Schumer sum it up for you when he tells you what we all should be most concerned about, whether you're blue or red. We should all be concerned about the same thing.
The view of Palestinians is simple. Well, the Europeans treated the Jews badly, culminating in the Holocaust, and they gave them our land as compensation. Of course, we say it's our land. The Torah says it, but they don't believe in the Torah. So that's the reason there is not peace. They invent other reasons, but they do not believe in a Jewish state. And that is why we in America must stand strong with Israel through thick and thin. We must, because that is the reason, not any of these other false shibboleths, why there is not peace in the Middle East. Too many people don't understand that here in America.
That's it. That's the reason we don't understand it. We have to stand with our greatest ally on the planet, and that's both parties talking to you right now, and that's where all the money is going towards. And all these other issues, these divisive issues like healthcare, are only designed to keep us distracted and at each other's throats. And that's the real story about the healthcare crisis in California. Again, a fully blown blue state that can't even do the thing, one thing. You had one job and you couldn't do it. We asked you to do one thing. It was healthcare, and you couldn't do it. So let's just understand that that was on purpose, not by accident. Okay. Coming in at number 1, top censored news of the week. Here we go, guys. Oh, a deadly car crash in Chihuahua, Mexico, which included 2 CIA agents, exposes the dark link between the U.S. and Mexican governments. Ooh, this one looks good. This one looks good. Well, let's break down what happened. If you guys didn't hear, here we go. There was a tragic accident in Chihuahua's Sierra. So there were, and this is how cartel warfare, this is how they report on this. They say 2 U.S. embassy instructors. They were okay, I don't know where we're getting CIA from. That must just be fake news. They were U.S. embassy instructors, and Chihuahua's top investigator were killed after a major meth lab raid. So this was early on Sunday. A vehicle carrying personnel involved in a joint anti-drug operation plunged off a road into a ravine in the area of southern Chihuahua, resulting in multiple fatalities. The victims included Pedro Esguerra and Director General of Chihuahua's Agencia of Investigations, along with 1 Mexican agent, and again, they're calling it 2 U.S. government instructors from the embassy in Mexico. Okay, that doesn't sound too conspiratorial or too dark. Just a tragic incident, correct? Well, the 2 Americans were described in initial reports as embassy employees, possibly involved in training or support roles related to law enforcement cooperation, not confirmed as DEA agents in official Mexican statements. Oh, so there's nothing to see here. Got it. Nothing to see here on Cartel Watch. The group has just completed a successful raid in the region between these 2 municipalities, where authorities supported by the Mexican army discovered and dismantled what officials described as one of the largest methamphetamine production laboratories in Mexico's history. And then we had to get this message from U.S. Ambassador of Mexico, Ronald Johnson, who tells us we're deeply saddened by the loss of these 2 U.S. embassy personnel. Director of the Chihuahua State Investigation Agency. Okay. And an AEI officer in the incident. Okay. So they're getting their talking points aligned and telling us these were just, U.S. embassy personnel, just kind of advisors, nothing big. We honor their dedication and tireless efforts to confront one of the greatest challenges of our time. And what are that challenges? Well, that's drugs and gangs, right? Because it's so hard to fight drugs and gangs when you're funding drugs and gangs. It's hard to fight them, right? So blah, 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 tragedy, reminder of the risks faced by those Mexican U.S. officials who are dedicated to protecting our communities, blah, 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 blah. That's all damage control and optics. It's not what really happened. Let's see if we can get a little deeper on what actually happened from Dropsite, who says, Dropsite reports, Mexican president demands answers after car crash kills 4 office officials, including 2 U.S. officials linked to embassy, revealing secret anti-narcotics operation. Okay, so she's angry, right? Scheibom is soliciting answers from the U.S. Embassy and the government of Chihuahua after 4 officials died in the car accident. The accident inadvertently revealed previously unknown cooperation between, well, we knew, but okay. Publicly, it revealed previously unknown cooperation between U.S. Embassy and the state of Chihuahua in Mexico, with Scheibom stating in a press conference Monday that her government did not have knowledge of the direct participation of U.S. officials. And here we go. Here's the kicker. Pie de Nota journalist Luis Chaparro reports that the 2 personnel killed were, in fact, CIA. Okay. So the Mexican president said that her administration does not authorize joint actions of that kind inside Mexico at any level. Oh, really? You don't authorize it? Does that mean you didn't know about it? Well, let's see. Let's look a little closer. With collaboration limited to intelligence sharing, and that joint work must be carried out under a strict framework of respect and sovereignty. Mexico passed strict legislation in 2020 that requires all collaboration with foreign agents receive prior authorization at the federal level. Unless we say that you don't require it, then we don't. So, okay. The president ordered that information be gathered to determine whether legal provisions were violated. So she's angry. She's angry. She didn't know about it. She didn't know nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing, but apparently you had these CIA agents infiltrate our government, and I had no idea, and I'm pissed. Okay. Well, let's hear what she had to say about it. Government was unaware. Of course. We didn't know they were not Mexican citizens. We were not part of the agencies, but they were foreigners participating in this operation. We had no idea. Something that should not be taken lightly by all Mexicans. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs sent a letter to the U.S. ambassador so that they could provide all information, saying that it is not part of the security protocol, what we agreed on. It's not part of our understanding with them. They must refrain, and I read it again, they must refrain from making direct approaches to authorities other than through our Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Will there be sanctions? Well, we'll review it within the framework of the law, but it's very important that something like this not be allowed to pass. Okay. Well, I hate to burst anyone's bubble on this, but as corrupt and horrible that we would put CIA agents into the Mexican government secretly, I can tell you right now that it's pretty clear. It's pretty freaking clear that Scheibom actually did know about it. Now, could she do anything about it? Probably not. But no, she clearly knew about it. Well, by saying those things out loud that she's angry, this is part of the theater. Now that Trump has to respond to this, and of course, we needed to get some sort of damage control or spin. Where do you go for that spin? You guessed it, Fox News. Let's see what our Trump spokesperson has to say on Fox News regarding Scheibom's reaction. Okay, here we go.
One quick one. This is the Mexican President, Claudia Sheinbaum, saying that they're not aware of any worker coordination between the U.S. and Mexico on this operation where 2 CIA agents were killed in a car accident. We're still waiting for details of exactly what happened to them. But I heard Dan Hoffman, who was a former Moscow CIA station chief just in the last hour, saying that he really would have appreciated it if the president of Mexico had thanked them for their service. And
Oh, that's what you're upset about, that she didn't thank them for their service. No, you got to play the role correctly. She's furious, so understand you're not going to get a freaking thank you when she's telling her people, telling the world basically, that she had no idea that you would infiltrate her government that way. So don't expect a thank you. But okay, go ahead, spin it for this Fox audience.
Expressed sympathy for the loss of those CIA agents. We talked a little bit about this earlier with the president. You know, he seems to be very unhappy with the president of Mexico right now based on all this. Can you expand on that?
Sure. I think the president would agree that some sympathy from Claudia Sheinbaum would be well worth it for the 2 American lives that were lost, considering all that the United States of America is doing currently under this president to stop the scourge of drug trafficking through Mexico to the United States. And we have seen some cooperation from President Sheinbaum. I think the president always wants to see more cooperation when what we are doing is not only a benefit to the American people, but to her people as well, to crack down on these cartels and to remove, again, the scourge of drug and human trafficking that has flowed through Mexico for far too long and has taken far too many American lives.
Yeah. To quote him from earlier, he said, Mexico is lost and the United States is Mexico's only hope. And we mourn the loss of these lives of these very brave CIA agents in Mexico in this operation as well. Caroline, thank you very much. Always good to see you. Thanks for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks, Martha.
Wow, what a spin that is. The courageous work that they do. Well, what are they doing? What the F are they doing working as Sheinbaum saying, working unknowingly, basically infiltrating their government and working there and just basically being these unknown entities that are there for what purpose? And what we're saying is that she knew about it but couldn't do anything about it and say it. But now that you have a car accident in which you have to identify the bodies and you have to identify who they actually are, everybody's maneuvering on this issue. So this is a reminder to everybody before this incident even happened that we already understand the mechanism in place when it comes to our relationship with Mexico and other Latin American countries, whether it be El Salvador, Venezuela. We create the crime. We either are putting sanctions on them or we're funding the terrorism. We're funding the gangs. We play both sides. We infiltrate their military and we infiltrate their gangs, and then we pit them on each other. Let's just give you an example of this because we know this happens. Rolling Stone even tells us that the United States arms the Mexican cartels. They tell us this. New York Times tell us this, that the Mexican cartels are overwhelmed. They've overwhelmed police with ammunition that's made for the U.S. military. It's the same ammunition. So we're funding that. We're providing the ammunition. We do that. We've been doing this the whole entire way, CIA operations. So absolutely, Sheinbaum knows about this, but she now has to publicly pretend that she didn't know. And then that puts Trump in the position where they have to say, how dare she not thank them for their service and that we're doing a fine job working together. Well, I'm going to remind you about this because we literally just covered this earlier this year. The killing of Mexican drug lord El Mecho. We showed you guys that we funded both sides. The government of Mexico was already captured we were already infiltrating them. We already were working together to stop the bad guys. Who were the bad guys? There were the gang that El Mecho led, and that gang was funded with weapons they were literally flown to Ukraine and given U.S. funded weapons months before this attack. So we've already showed you guys that's the mechanism in place. So I know there's people that think, Sheinbaum's doing a great job and she's doing what she has to do. And I appreciate that. And it's great. But I'm telling you guys, and across the board with her other policies where she literally gives in to these people, not on the level of Milei in Argentina, not on the level of corruption, but she certainly is not in a position where she can be fully honest with us about how bad it actually is. And so when an incident like this happens, this car wreck where these bodies have to be identified, again, you have to acknowledge it publicly that these are 2 CIA officials that were in the car killed for whatever reason after the greatest raid of all time, apparently greatest meth raid ever documented. A meth raid that we funded both sides on, right? We fund the meth and then we fund the raid. You see that you guys understand that we do both. So another indication that we've been working in cahoots together. And if Sheinbaum, if her fake anger about this is at least it's going to get attention, of the world population, to show them that we are working on this level of infiltration and sneakiness. At least that's something. So I'll give her that she's at least showing us this isn't right. But she damn well knew about this before, but yet probably couldn't do anything about it. So maybe it's a good thing you had an incident like this. It's the silver lining that gives us a chance to look at it from a larger perspective, and always go back and look at these other references that I just showed you a few examples of, and to show you that this has always been in place the entire time. It's just another example and another opportunity for us to understand the link, the dark link between the U.S. and Mexican government, but not just the Mexican government, plenty of other Latin American governments as well, and others across the entire planet. We know the game. We know the drill. We've been doing it like this for many, many years. And that should do it for top censored news of the week. All right. Cool, guys. That was a good one. Okay, let's look at some of these super chats. We're gonna probably about a half hour. We're gonna be bringing Leslie in. Oh, we got a few more birthdays. I like this. I got some birthday shout outs from you guys earlier. And there's a bunch in the chats, but let me just throw up a couple of the super chats here. We have, this is a nice little song from Leora. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Very, very cool. With the musical notes. I absolutely love it. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing the message, but I get it, and I appreciate the super chat. Truthwire, baby. Truthwire. No, go get your shine box. Love it, guys, over at Truthwire. Guys, check them out tomorrow. I think they got a Friday show planned. Always some good stuff over at Truthwire, and we like to contribute when we can, get on there when we can. And we're all in this together, guys. We're all in this together. Got a few more from Citizen here. What? YouTube slapped a label on a suicide label. Shared it 2 times. What is this label? What is this suicide label? I gotta look at that. That doesn't sound good. Let me just take a look. I'm gonna just see what our link is doing right now, because I obviously. Oh shoot! Oh my God! Wow, they did. This is bad. This is really bad. Let me show you guys what happened. You might already know if you're on there, because you have to click an extra button. You have to click. What the F? What is going on here? This is nuts. The following content may contain suicide or self-harm topics. So you have to say, I understand and wish to proceed. And then what is this? Oh my God. Because we did the anti-gravity. Wow. So if you talk about suicide, you get a warning that you're talking about it. You know what's really bizarre is that we're not talking about suicide. That's the effing problem. How the hell do we get a label when we're not talking about suicide? We're talking about people getting offed and made examples of and being eliminated. We're actually not talking about suicide. It's the freaking opposite here. This is effing ridiculous. So you think people are going to call a hotline? YouTube? You're going to call a hotline? Because we're talking about people killing it? No, we're saying that those are lies. This is exactly not the show to watch with a warning about suicide. It's the opposite. The warning should be the following content may contain journalists and scientists being murdered on purpose and being told to the public it's suicide. And if you understand this, then you wish to continue. That should be the warning. You are not alone. So you are not alone. There are other journalists, scientists, and researchers and courageous people out there who are also trying to get information out to the public, who are also scared that they might be killed or wake up in the morning randomly with a bad case of the suicides. So that should be a number. I want to know a number to call for that. Give me the phone number, YouTube. Give me the phone number who I can call if the content I'm doing is upsetting people enough that they're going to put an X on my effing head for doing the material and presenting this to the public. Give me that number. We're not covering suicide right now. We're covering courage and conviction between journalists, scientists, and researchers and people getting information out to the public. That's what we're covering. If you want a suicide hotline, you should go to a channel that's covering actual suicide. That's not us. Okay. I'm sorry for this is just absolutely, look, we've seen warnings before. We've seen warnings before. Man. The warnings before they've been more appropriate, at least to the thing. We used to get warnings all the time about medical misinformation. They would do the COVID thing. If you want real information on COVID, go to this site. If you want to know how to prevent yourself with safe and effective treatments, that would be the warning you would get. And at least it would be appropriate to the fact that we were talking about COVID and they want to misdirect you with COVID treatment. We're not actually talking about suicide, but I get it. They want us to believe, they want the audience that finds us right now to believe that that's what we're really supposed to be talking about. And that we went down the wrong path by suggesting it's anything other than suicide. And that's why you have the suicide hotline up, because they want to tell the audience that no, we should be talking about that. Just like with COVID, we should have been talking about safe and effective treatment, i.e. Pfizer, Moderna treatments. That's what we should have been talking about. That's why they gave us those warnings. So yeah, I guess it does kind of check out. That's incredible, guys. So if any of you guys on there right now, thank you for doing that extra click. That is the problem right now. But I see there's at least 50 of you that are doing it right now. I don't know when that warning came on, but thank you, Citizen, for pointing that out. Okay, I need a second here. Let's do a little break. I'll be right back. We're gonna come back with we know what it's not, and then we'll get to talking back with you guys soon. We're gonna save the HOLLYWOKE segment for after that. So we'll be right back, guys, in about 2 minutes. Thanks for tuning in. It's the Homeless Left, non-tribal approach to news. I'm Matt Weinglass. I'll see you guys back here in about 2 minutes. Let me just throw up the card. The one we've had. Hold on, let me find it. It's a good little tiny. We've done longer ones before, but this is a quickie. We'll be right back. I just got to reset for a second. Here we go. Okay, we're back, guys. We're ready to go here. Got some more show for you. We're still going to get to everything. Because we had a little late start, so we're starting. We're trying to catch up with everything, but we're gonna get through everything today. About to do a we know what it's not segment for you guys right now, and then we're gonna bring in Nurse Leslie, and it's appropriate order because we are talking about the medical freedom movement. A lot of problems that are happening right now, so we're gonna do that, and then get to your guys' comments. And yeah, the warning on YouTube, it's just what it is. It's what you should expect if we got red flagged, probably because of the title. But it just makes it harder because you got an extra click and all that stuff. So I appreciate all you guys that are on there right now, doing us, getting it shared out, to wherever you can, and engaging with us. Super chats, Rumble. Thank you guys on Rumble as well, for putting up the engagement. And again, we're gonna get you guys in just a little bit. We're going to bring on Nurse Leslie, but let's go ahead and get to this story right now. We're going to call it We Know What It's Not. And it's a follow-up to we had, if you guys go back and watch our interview, we had Jay Scott on with us along with Dr. Mary Talley Bowden. We had a great conversation with her. You can go check. We've already uploaded the full interview talking about her work in Texas. And the thing came up, and we didn't talk too much about it, but we brought up the CDC director that was nominated by Trump, and we didn't have a chance to look into it too much. And I told the viewers then, and I'll tell you now, we wanted to take a day with it. And so here we are. We got an update on that. So let's go ahead and start the segment. And I'm going to tell you guys what's going on with that CDC director that was nominated by Trump in this last week. Okay, here we go. Let me play in the opening jingle. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay.
But the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
But this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The conspiracy theory about this related to vaccine, you're right.
We have to really move at the speed of science.
Doctors are baffled. They're looking into it. They want us to hang tight until they get back to us and tell us what's really going on with all these medical emergencies, all these sudden drop to the floors. You have these, child myocarditis cases going up and pericarditis. You got neurological problems everywhere. You got young athletes just heart stopping, rapid cancers. It's pretty bad. But the point is, we need to wait. We're not doctors. We're not scientists. We're not professionals. So we need to stay put and wait till they can come back and tell us what's really happening with everyone. But in the meantime, rest assured, we know for 100% factuality, one thing's for sure, and that is we know what it's not. Let's look at the, first of all, we do have a CDC director nomination from Trump that just happened. We're going to talk about her in just a moment, but I got to tell you guys, the CDC itself has reported these deaths that have been excessive, and nobody seems to be doing anything about it. This is from Nicholas Hushler. He's been really good in the medical freedom community. The CDC's data has shown that hundreds of deaths among infants and toddlers within days of MMR vaccination. They died from sudden infant death syndrome, cardiac arrest. Wow. This is incredible. This is from, they're linking the vaccine to 2,657% more deaths than measles since the actual thing. Isn't that interesting that the actual thing doesn't actually give you the death count that the thing that's supposed to be preventative of the thing gives you? And this is how many more percentage, over 2,600 more percentages of death since 1995. Here's the report from Nicholas Hushler.
FDA data. We looked at it. And when the vaccines kill or are linked to 2,600% more deaths than measles infection for the past 30 years, that is a serious debacle, serious disaster, absolutely foolish. The vaccine should never kill more than the infection, never, especially 2,600% more. And remember, VAERS is underreported, so we could multiply that by about 30. We might get up to 80,000% more deaths with these vaccines than measles infection. There was only 7 measles deaths in the past 30 years. And so it's not looking good for that. We found these children died of sudden cardiac arrest, SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, encephalitis, seizures, and 25% were hospitalized. Over half died within 2 weeks, and over half of them died within ages 1 to 1.5, right when they get these shots. And so it's very damning information.
Pretty damning information. The McCullough Foundation, they've been doing some pretty damn good work with coming up with these studies, trying to get them published, getting them out to people. We know several doctors all over the world that have been doing this work, but the mainstream refuses to look at it. And again, we have this problem with, now that you have the Maha movement technically, theoretically in office, in positions of power, and yet you have people like this being nominated to these positions, which doesn't make any effing sense. Here she is. Her name is Erica Schwartz. She is listed as a public health veteran in Trump's pick to lead CDC and this is what they're saying. The mainstream is telling us that the administration is shifting tone on vaccines. They're telling us that. So all of that fear porn on RFK Jr., who's going to come in and do all these things, guess what? We told you the whole time, he's not actually going to do anything. And now they're saying that publicly on mainstream outlets that the administration is shifting tone. And that's why you got someone like this in there. This is what's being reported here from CNN. Trump's new pick to lead the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is a public health veteran who has led vaccination programs, a new sign of the administration's shifting view on vaccines. So she's led vaccination programs. So Dr. Erica Schwartz, she was nominated to lead this agency just hours after U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr. appeared at a hearing where he made some of his most supportive comments to Big Pharma yet. So he has gone so far off the rails. Here's something he did.
Tell me, can you tell all of us, is the MMR vaccine safe and effective? Yes or no?
The MMR vaccine?
Yes or no?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's safe for most people.
Can you agree that getting the vaccine is a lot safer than getting measles?
Yes.
Terrific.
But it's not. And he knows it's not. So this is why they're saying, yay, CNN should be apologizing to RFK. They should say, hey, we gave you such a hard time, right? We made you into this monster. We completely ignored your Zionism. That part we protected. We never talked about that part. But we told everybody that you were this monster that was going to go in there and do all these horrible things. But at the end of the day, you were just going to promote vaccines anyways. That's what you were going to do. And that's why this person has been nominated, this Erica Schwartz. Okay. We didn't have enough information on her on Tuesday. We did talk to Dr. Mary Talley Bowden. She says she looked into it. We barely had the information. So she was like, we can't really find a really bad record of her. And at that point, we hadn't enough time to look at it. But now we have. And I've talked with Garland Nixon since then. He looked at the backstory of her and her husband, and it looks like this power couple that might have some revolving door situation here. Might actually have this revolving door situation here with the two of them together. The husband, Daniel Schwartz, being a biomedical engineer, and they're able to trade secrets and push laws, and she's got her lawyer background and she can mess around with stuff, all about protecting pharma. That's what is going to happen. I'm telling you guys, that's what's coming next. So let's look at Erica Schwartz. This is the document. This is the information we didn't have available in that conversation on Tuesday, but now we have it. And this is good. This is good. Let's hold on. Let me just get, So from Aaron Suri, Trump's pick this Erica Schwartz would likely be a disaster. She led a COVID vaccine deployment, really, and her long track record of directly issuing rights-crushing civilian and military vaccine mandates. What? So she led mandates against not just civilian, but military members. She pushed mandatory vaccines, including the injection of smallpox, anthrax, and flu vaccines into the U.S. forces. And then what does she do if you refuse? Discipline those that refused. So this all reflects her lack of basic ethics and morals to lead the CDC, especially with this MAHA movement, which is not a movement anymore, I suppose. I mean, let's just face it, right? The agency does not need another cheerleader for industry. It needs a regulator over industry. We're not going to get that in this case. Her prior promotion, let alone mandates, of nearly a dozen different vaccines leave little hope she will be objectively oversee CDC vaccine program, which has between 1986 and 2026 gone from 3 injections to 29 injections, including in utero by an infant's first birthday, while chronic childhood disease has gone from under 10% to over 40% of children. most related to immune system dysregulation. Wow. So all that checks out. And we always talk about sources. You should go check out Aaron Siri's Twitter. You can click any of these links and you can get the sources where he finds her information. So now this person, she doesn't tweet out stuff. You're not going to find her yapping all this crap about everyone get your vaccine, but she's behind the scenes and she was putting together these mandates, this legislation. So this is the worst type of person you want in charge of the entire CDC. The same CDC that just told us the rise of infant mortalities and deaths due to measles. Not due to the measles, due to measles vaccination. 2,500% increase since 1995. Same CDC. So they're not changing anything from this point on. It's only going to get worse. So, and again, RFK is too busy telling us that vaccines are safe and effective and they work. So nobody is going to be doing anything about this. So why does it matter if this person's there pushing this stuff? No one's going to fall for COVID again, right? No one's going to fall for that shit. No one's going to take something they don't want. Well, not if they don't mandate it. So if you have somebody in the CDC, the next pandemic that happens, they're going to do a far worse than they did with COVID. Far worse. Let me give you an example. We're going to try and connect the dots here because this story is actually related. This is what's happening in France right now. So pay attention to this. French police are using drones equipped with thermal imaging to locate cattle hidden in the country whose owners, which are farmers, refuse to vaccinate. Once located, huge teams of police and vaccine administrators turn up to inject all of their livestock. Here's a clip from a farm that got raided by these police using this drone equipment to come and literally vaccinate their cattle against the will of the farmers. So as you're processing this, understand that the exact person, if they want to start doing this to people, showing up using drone technology, which we didn't have during COVID, which we will have now, they're using it on animals, showing up the farms, doing this shit. I'll play that clip again. I'm telling you guys, you look at the row of police standing there. This is what it's going to. So of course you're going to want a CDC director in there that understands how to put legislation through, as she did with the U.S. military and civilian population of our country. She can implement that same legislation using new technology. So then we can be spotted on with this thermal technology to spot us, show up at the door and force vaccinate us. Sounds pretty intense, sounds pretty crazy, but if they're going to do it to the animals first, we're next. They always try it on them before they try it on us. So you guys know the drill. That's it. So on one hand, yes, we would not fall for COVID again. You're not going to have things like this. And this is just a friendly reminder. I just got to show you guys where we came from. So I'll say this. We have come far, right? We used to fall for things that I don't think we're going to fall for anymore. And here's a reminder from Illuminati bot. So this is let me get so I can see this right. Okay, so Illuminati bot says, I don't know what's worse, the fact that the first televised COVID vaccination almost killed somebody, or the fact that after millions of people witnessed this woman almost die, they went right out and got the same exact vaccination without hesitation. Well, we know why they did. It's not because they're stupid. They did it because that was the mechanism in place to manufacture their consent to do it. So even when you saw people dropping down, unconscious, convulsions, literally drop dead in front of you, you still lined up for the shot. And we saw people do that around the globe. They would show up to vaccination sites and you'd see people having horrible reactions, like spazzing out on the ground, and you still had people standing in place and not leaving immediately and saying, I'm out of here. They didn't do that. They stayed. And they said, somebody fell. That means there's an opening. Can I get mine next? It was the opposite. So this is just a reminder. I'm going to show you guys the first televised, if you never saw this is the first televised vaccination of COVID, which we all watched and watched the reaction.
Manager in CCU. For my team, we are in the COVID unit, so therefore, my team will be getting first chances to get the vaccine. And I know that it's really... I'm feeling really dizzy. I'm sorry.
And there it is. And it's not about punching down at people. It's understanding that even with this airing, and it doesn't need that extra music. That's just, you guys know, I'm so against it. Like, if you're making a film, get some good music for your film. If you're showing us, news footage, you don't need music under the footage. You just don't. I'm just, anybody out there with your content creator, don't do it. The footage speaks for itself. It really does. I don't want to hear it. I can't edit it out. It's already on the track that we found, but don't do it. Stop putting music. The news clip is enough. You're turning people off. If you want to send that, this is the thing I'm telling you guys. If you want to send that clip to people, I guarantee you will have more of a chance of getting a reaction from someone that took all the shots, that maybe took 10 shots. They're more likely to say, really, was that the first person that was aired? Oh my God, can you show me where that aired? They'll be more likely to say that to you if it doesn't have music behind it. If it has music behind it, they're going to not watch it. They're going to say, this is hype. This is you're just effing with people's emotion. I'm not paying attention. That's just a little FYI side note. With that said, this is where we came from. They know we're not going to go back to that. They know they can't trick us again. They're not going to get people to do that again. What they can do, though, is they can mandate the shit out of something so you have no choice, and they can use the drone technology to do that. And what better person to put in place than this Erica Schwartz person? And this is who Trump put into office, or is on her way in. She's not there yet. She will be confirmed. Everybody's loving it. RFK's loving it. Go line up, get some more vaccines. You should go as soon as it shows up. Go get another vaccine. Go get 5 more. While you're waiting for the doctors who are baffled by all the medical emergencies, because they're going to come back and tell us soon enough, what is actually happening. But they can tell you 100% right now. There's one thing they know for sure, and that is we know what it's not. Okay, that's it for that segment. And I think you guys, we're ready now. Ready for you guys. It's time to talk to you. And I know we've been getting a bunch of cool comments from you guys all day long. We're going to try and tighten up here, and because we can't spend all day on it, but we are very, very happy to have Nurse Leslie back with us, and it's going to be awesome. We have a lot to get into, so we're gonna get right to it right now. Let me play this in, and you guys get those comments, super chats, Rumble rants. We can see those a lot easier, especially we have the Rumble channel up. I can see it right here. So if you guys even are on Rumble, you want to throw us a super chat. I'm sorry, a Rumble rant. We can certainly eye it and get it to you. The YouTube super chats, we can see those as well. But we'll try to get as many as possible in the next half hour. Here we go, guys. And then we got 2 more segments after that. So don't go anywhere. Here we go. It's time for some talking back. Let me play her in because you guys love the theme on this one. This is the jingle, the Nurse Leslie jingle. Here we go. Hey, here we go. It's your Nurse Leslie here today for Talking Back. Welcome back, Leslie, I know it's been a little while. Glad to have you back with us.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Matt. And happy birthday, Matt. I think I've told you like 20 times already today, but happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. And if you guys didn't know, he has an identical twin. So happy birthday to Jeremy. I'm not sure if you're still on, but happy birthday to you guys. We're going to do fun stuff after the show. So thanks everyone for tuning in, all the super chats and the Rumble rants. I think maybe today's just super chats, but I think you posted most of them, but I'll go through them and other comments I started as well. But it's been a heck of a week for me and my family and my dog, rest in peace, who died on Monday. She had a long, beautiful life, right, Matt? She was 18 years and a half. That's quite a long life for a dog. So it was still hard. More things happening the days following, and even today, I won't really bore you guys with it, but it's been quite a weird week, Matt. So we're hoping for a great day today for your birthday.
It's I mean, when it rains, it pours. I know people have been asking about you, Leslie, and I know people are happy to see you back, because I have a hard time doing this part, but you're really, really awesome with the engagement with people here. And but on a more personal note, yes, I know it's been, not to get into all the details, but it has been a series of things. And like I told you, I don't really care about my birthday. It's not really important. I mean, we're doing the show. We're doing the show. And that's, for me, the important thing we could do right now. But like everything you've been going through and your dad, I mean, feel free to share any of that when you want, or if at all. But I just want to say, yeah, I know that the viewers have been, putting their hearts on their sleeve for you there. And
I know, and I thank you guys for that. And there's some people that email us as well. We have like a personal relationship with several of you, which I love. People like Sam and several other people. If you guys ever want to chat offline to me or to Matt or both of us, we're at lessandmattw@gmail.com. I haven't gotten around to getting a Proton account, but I want to do it. And yes, my dad's still hospitalized, day 13, I think, today. Very sick man, very unfortunate series of events, but here we are. He's still alive, hanging in there. So let me get on to some of the comments. And again, I think you posted most of these, but thank you so much, Jose Monzon. Thank you. That was very nice, very generous of you. Oh, very cool.
Appreciated.
As always, Citizen, Birthday Boy, thank you guys so much. Leora, thank you. Oh yeah, you mentioned this song earlier.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm not gonna sing it, but
I'm not gonna sing it because I have a terrible singing voice. And Matt likes it, but I don't. But thank you so much.
No,
Truth Wire, really cool. Thank you. Let's see, YouTube. Oh, you already read this. They slapped the Zoocide label on your live. Yeah, I noticed that in the very beginning, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's the title. I just clicked accept or whatever, and I moved on. But Citizen also told me a few minutes ago that they're not allowing super chats anymore. I don't know the reason for that. Is it the title? Is it the things we're talking about? Could be all of it. Yeah, I don't think you've seen that message, Matt. Just letting you know. We'll talk about it. Thank you, Citizen, again for several other super chats. Thank you. I like this comment from St. David's. Bless up, Matt, Pasta, Leslie, and chat. Thanks, St. Davis. And I thought this one was funny. Chewbacca's. From Ardeen, shame on all politicians that are still silent. Absolutely, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And in addition, all the really wealthy and powerful and influential people, influencers, celebrities, singers, millionaires and billionaires that are silent, very sad, and shame on you. Long Meadow. Iran doesn't mind doing the heavy lifting. Russia and China offer support behind the scenes when needed. Iran's civilization has survived through the best and the worst of historical times. Thank you, Long Meadow.
Yeah. I think, and Pasta put that into a good perspective for us. Yeah, I'm glad we're able to kind of understand that relationship goes well beyond. It's so funny because we have our 250th, our biggest celebration of all time happening, our 4th of July, 250. It's like we don't even can't comprehend the thousands and thousands of years that are there in play when you talk about Iran and what they've been through, and in China and Russia obviously has gone through some more recent changes in the last 100 years, but like in China as well. But like there's a history that we don't fully fathom, and we gloat about our little tiny accomplishments in these couple hundred years, and they turn out not even to be accomplishments. They turn out to be just us conducting imperialism and conducting our atrocities on our own country, and then of course the rest of the world. So that's what that is. But we need a larger world perspective that we don't get here in this country, or our education system for that matter.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you. One Cup, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
There's one that came in. Thank you, One Cup. Yes, about my doggy. It was a devastating, very hard day for me. And thank you so much for the good healing vibes. Thank you. Where did I leave off? Let's see. Oh, I thought this one was funny. From Mary, my dummy neighbor thinks Putin wants to conquer the world. Yeah, and my neighbors and friends still think that Donald is the evil of the world.
Does the dumbass neighbor also think that Putin is funding Trump? Because and I wonder what the dumbass neighbor thinks about the relationship of Trump and Mary Madelson. I wonder all these things. And like, what do you think is Putin getting out of all the chaos we're creating in the Middle East right now? And where's this conquering of the world happening when we're literally watching Netanyahu conquer every day, conquer more land? He's conquering land in Syria. He's conquering land in Lebanon. He's conquering land, obviously, in Palestine. He's conquering land in the West Bank. He's conquering everywhere around him. But yet there's dumbass neighbors who think that Putin is conquering the world. It's pretty unbelievable. Pretty unbelievable.
Seven Sword Mary. Global peace requires nationalization of each nation's natural resources. Thank you, Seven Sword Mary. I like this comment. Let's see. Friendly, brilliant. When my next book comes out in print, I'll include a donation. Thank you. I'm having a lot of money issues right now. And for you and for everyone watching and liking and sharing, we thank you. We thank you for all exposure, all shares, all likes, subscriptions, all that stuff. So thank you from our hearts for any kind of support that you guys give us. Thank you, Friendly and Brilliant.
Yeah.
Matt was on RT from Seven Sword Mary. That's right. How many times have you been on that already?
About
like a dozen? No.
I think about a dozen. Yeah, about 12 times. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Mostly on the live, which is great because I think that generally people have to work their way to that. And I was doing that from my very first one was about the LA ICE raids, and they had me go on live right away. I thought that was interesting because I've talked to other correspondents. We've talked to closer journalists that do this on other networks, and they say no, the fact that they'll generally start you out with the pre-record, and I've done a couple of those. Out of those 12, I've done a couple, maybe two of them were pre-records, but mostly everything I'm doing is live and on the ground. I've been on the ground at the doing live coverage for them as well, but mostly from our home studio here in LA. And it's hey, you're going on the air and you got to go, and that's it. And they trust you that you're ready to go and that you're and you're sharp. And like I said, generally you have to work your way to that level of because the pre-record is safe, right? They can edit it down and take out the fat. But when it's live, when you're live, and that's it. Just like now, you just go. You can't. There's no take two, right? There's no take two.
Right, from Anna Ringwald. I knew an atheist once who prayed to a wall, and I think is Anna talking about the wall in the occupied Palestine land?
The Western Wall. Yep.
Yeah, and I think about like Donald and how Christian he's become all of a sudden. I don't think you really talked about.
Well, it's a Zionist thing to pray at that wall. So and we know that Zionists can be atheists for sure. We know of several atheist Zionists, right? Like Bill Maher, Quentin Tarantino, Sam Harris. There's a bunch of them that are they're literally we're not calling them names. They literally say they identify as Zionist atheists. That's what they are. And so if those people can show up, I don't know if I have any visuals of any of the three of them. Actually, those are just examples, but you go to that wall to show your allegiance to Israel. That's what that is. It's not actually what do you pray? If you're an outside public figure or politician, you're not going there to pray. That's just stupid.
Matt, what are you talking about? Everyone that goes there puts their head in, and they're like in this deep thought. Wonder what they're thinking, right? But it's very deep.
It's a ritual that they are ordered to do or subjugated to do or salivating at the lips to do because they are either captured with their brain or they're captured with blackmail, one of the two. But it's not praying. It's putting yourself, it's saying it's bowing down. That's what that is. Literally, not praying. It's saying, I'm at your service, whatever you need from me. I will lie, cheat, steal, sacrifice my integrity. I'll do anything for you. That's what that is. And of course, atheists can do that if they want.
From Jungle Dare, happy birthday from Jungle Ledge, I think, in Florida.
Jungle Jay in Florida. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
Jungle
you.
Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you. From WITS, an Iranian protester had his stomach slashed by a crazed Zio-Nazi pro-Iranian monarchist in London yesterday. Oh my God, that is horrific.
Oh, no.
And I know our friend Sam WITS got arrested for a second time because he is against war.
That's right. I forgot he sent that email.
Yeah, the peaceful guy got arrested again.
Oh my God, Sam. Wish you go, man. Thanks for being so courageous out there and giving us the what's happening on the ground, and being there, putting yourself in jeopardy yourself. Wow, that's horrible.
Guy is a hero and humanitarian, but sorry for everything that you are probably going through and will have to go through when I suppose you have to go to court or something. I don't know, but my goodness, twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for always writing to us, Sam. Okay, from Chris Cox, ICE shoots 23-year-old mothers in the face in the U.S. Yeah, and they kill a couple of people and they beat people up. Absolutely, they do. Probably every day. And for some reason, the right-wing people that are for ICE think that this is okay, or that these people were on the way, or they're justified to be beaten up or killed. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. From Lunatic for Biscas. What does that mean? I'm interested. I agree. Don't fully. Oh, okay. So we moved on to Mexico, the stuff that's happening, and the president. I agree. I don't fully trust Sheinbaum. Much has to do with the cabinet members she has surrounding her. Her being the principal of signatory of Agenda 2030 for Mexico is also
quite
concerning.
There's more. Quite concerning.
Yeah, quite concerning. Yeah.
Yes. So anything, and this is true. Friendly, brilliant. And I've had this debate with Pasta because he likes to think the best of her, in that she doesn't. When it comes to the digital ID, which she's fully bringing it on, the digital ID, she's doing that garbage about how it's good for poor people, and I'm for poor people, so poor people need to be in a system where we can track them, and that's better for them because then they can get the things we can give them the services they need better. So we have to track and trace. And they're going to get rid of the peso. There's not gonna be any more pesos. They're going to be gone. It's going to be digital. And that's not actually going to help poor people at all, just so you know. So there's that. So the Agenda 2030, she's fully on board for, and Pasta will tell you, and I get his sentiment. He wants to be skeptically optimistic, more optimistic than not is his approach. He's like, oh, she doesn't know enough about that. That's what he said. He said they don't know. She doesn't know enough about the thing that she's kind of getting tricked into doing. And it's the same with the story we covered today, which is on Top Censored News. You guys can go back and watch Top Censored News this week. What we covered was that she's claiming that she didn't know that there were 2 CIA infiltrators in her government. She didn't know that, and she's furious about it. I think she's furious because that she didn't have a choice in the fact that they were there, and then she has to now pretend that she just found out. That's what happened. She's still not as bad as we are, because we're the ones doing the infiltrating. We're the ones funding the cartels and infiltrating the government that's going after the cartels, and we're playing both sides. We're doing that. She just doesn't have the power that you might think she does, or Pasta says she doesn't know enough. No, she knows enough. She just can't do anything about it. So she has to pretend that she doesn't know what's going on until she knows what's going on. So, by the way, she'll do the same thing with this. As soon as Agenda 2030 is a complete disaster, then she'll say, I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea that they were sneaking this into it. That's what she'll do. I had no idea they were doing this to us. I didn't see it because it wasn't in our arrangement, and I had an arrangement with them, and they did some secret thing behind my back. Well, no, that's the whole thing is bullshit. That's the whole point. Agenda. This is all bullshit. So not mad at her. What else can she do? They'll kill her if she doesn't. She can't do anything. So she's just gonna play dumb. That's all. Whatever.
Oh, yes. From Harold, I'll read this one. From Harold Dogbottom. Reminds me of Longbottom from Harry Potter. Meanwhile, in Russia, I wanted to read this one for a long time since I read this. My aunt gets 3 years maternity leave per child. People have over a month vacation per year. What? To say nothing of holidays, including paid visits to health resorts with spa. It seems like they almost care about the health of their citizens. Man. I think here in the USA, women get up to, can't remember if it's 8 weeks or 12 weeks. I think it's 12 weeks. You can opt to do 2 months and then do a month of baby bonding in the future. But they get 2 or 3 months, entire year, and then you get nothing else after that, just your regular vacation. So women have their babies at home that are being raised by somebody else if they're working. Yeah.
Wow.
So 3 years of maternity leave, I cannot believe my eyes. I did not know that. And then over a month of vacation. Let's move to Russia. My goodness.
I know, right?
Yes. I saw a friend yesterday who has a new baby, and the baby was born after they started maternity leave. So those weeks were deducted from the maternity leave. It's not good here in the USA. It's kind of embarrassing.
Man. That is embarrassing. That sucks.
Gotta work to live. Yep. And let's see what else Harold says. And you have over a month vacation from the beginning of employment. Oh, you mean you don't have to work somewhere 12 months to show your loyalty and dedication? Not like the slavery in the USA where you may get 1 week PTO after your work. Yeah, that's right. 2 weeks or 3 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
From Rulebool, perhaps you should think before you frame your headlines, because after all, it's freaking shit tube. Yeah, so
you're right. It was the headline. It was the effing. So I was making a joke with the suicide. Man, I forgot because I had put originally that they were murdered. They keep getting murdered, and then I changed. I don't remember. I changed it to suicide. That's
we
what it
live
was.
and learn.
I thought I
Harold,
put murdered. I forgot, guys. We make these quick decisions and things go fast, and then all of a sudden we have a title that we just have and whatever. It's okay.
Harold says the irony is that this chat is the anti-suicide chat. Thank you, guys. Chris, thank you too. Yeah, unalived is the word we use nowadays, huh? So we don't get canceled.
Unalived.
Mhm.
Unalived. I should have gone with unalived. Damn it. Thanks, Chris Cox. I should have said unalived. That's the other. I said but wait, I didn't say suicide. I said suicided, which is obviously not, that's obviously a joke. That's a joke. It's not
good. I can't
right?
tell what animal that is on Chris's picture. Oh, it's a dog. I thought it was a duck flying. That's really cute. From Manimus. Matt, do you think they started the epidemic on purpose? I find it strange that the virus only affected the elderly, the sick, or the obese people. Strange.
I mean, duh. Yeah, it was started on purpose. Of course it was. We know for a fact.
Very strange. Yeah.
It's not even.
But we have to vaccinate our newborns, our children, our healthy people. Someone my age who exercises and eats well. Forced to get 3. Oh, I would never get over that. From Hugo, thank you very much. Happy birthday, Matt.
Thank you, Hugo.
Thank you, Sam. It's been quite a week.
Yeah.
Thank you, One Cup. I think I've read that already. Thank you. Let's see. From Chatter X, people argue whether Israel owns the U.S. or vice versa. I have seen both sides of the argument, only because they don't want to realize that they're basically one. They're one, Matt. They're the same people.
Yeah.
Right? Do you agree with that? Or do you think it's USA owns Israel or the other way around? I don't know what to think anymore. One entity.
I think, and this is good, ChatterX, for putting aside, because we've spent so much time on this argument, and I can't help it. Because you guys know we cover so much stuff on this show. We're on twice a week, and we go all afternoon, and there's so much to go through. And I find out, especially after the Charlie Kirk assassination, I just found myself just in constant states of having to debate this, and I just don't. Exactly, you hit it on the head, ChatterX. It's the same shit. Like, why are we wasting time talking about who's little brother or big brother? We should be getting to the bottom of what the F are they up to, and why the hell did they kill Charlie Kirk, and why the hell is everyone okay with it? And that's why, and we know why, because he was an active voice of don't go to war with Iran. That we know that, and here we go. We're getting the policy. You get the policy that you set up. So you got to get rid of this guy, whatever, Erica Kirk. We know the whole thing. So why are we wasting so many hours saying, well, it's not to say that Trump wasn't part of it or Netanyahu? It's like, just come on already. It's
This
all
one's
bad.
funny.
Yeah.
From pulling the strings, one is the same, but one has to be the head, the other one has to be the ass. That's really good. ChatterX.
Netanyahu clearly looks like the current head, right?
I don't know. He looks like a butthole to me. Hate that guy.
Yeah. Well, Trump is the ass right now, because he's got like to go and do all this contradictory shit. He must really. I don't know how he can get. I don't know how he can keep him. Like, it's a complete opposite dude that you saw like 10 years ago. A complete opposite. He must know that, right? He must have some idea that this is exactly the opposite of the thing that I started with, right? It's night and day.
ChatterX, by the way, in Tel Aviv, there's a huge statue to James Angleton, chief of the CIA's counterintelligence CI staff, who was promoted by duels. That's all you need to know about the Mossad-CIA relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, ChatterX.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They love to celebrate in Israel. They love to celebrate their being in the know and being on the inside and all of their relationships. And they celebrate it with statues and trophies. And if you want another celebration, just go into Netanyahu's office and you'll see a statue of a freaking needle, right? A statue of a needle as a trophy for COVID, because for whatever reason, Israelis had the highest vaccination rate, but for some reason, they're all fine. They're great. They have great
low cancer rates too. Yeah.
It's interesting, right? That they somehow don't have any problems right now with their health. Well, they have mental health problems. They got mental health problems, but their fertility rates are the best in the planet. How did that happen?
Oh, yes. That is very true, Matt. Oh, I'm sorry. That's true.
How did and what are you exactly celebrating with that trophy there, Netanyahu? What are you saying? You were well, we know who owns all the pharma companies. We know who owns okay. Well, I'm just saying we know who implemented all of the tech and the policies and the medications and all of the biolab. Okay, we talk about biolabs, all that shit. So I guess you have to celebrate that. You have to commemorate your participation in getting that all to happen and pulling it off. Yeah.
I thought this was funny not this one. Wait. It moves so fast. Okay. Miriam Adelson promised him a page in the Bible. That's funny.
That's effing funny.
That's funny.
Because that's a joke on multiple levels, right? Because you got the joke about Adelson controlling Trump with money. And then you also have the joke that the Bible gets to be rewritten and pages added and taken out over time, which is also funny because that's true. It's funny because it's true. All of it.
That's funny too. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
A page in the Torah. That's funny.
You can't get into the Torah. No. We'll F with your Bible, but stay the F away from our Torah, you mother. That's
From
great.
Citizen, Matt was 28 years ago, right, Les? That's completely right, Citizen. Kidding, he's 48.
Don't you dare.
We don't know that. We don't know your age. Happy birthday, but it's undisclosed.
But 48 minus 28 is 20. What? What's 28?
I don't know why Citizen thinks he knows your age.
I don't. Well, he clearly doesn't know math because 28 years ago would make you 56. I don't know if I've ever been accused of being 56 before, let alone 48. We'll leave it at that.
That's funny.
Okay.
Thanks, Citizen. I'll read one more. This one that just came in. Wait. Was I going to click this one? Jimmy Dore from Chris did report, I think, that
The genocide.
Genocide's nation's medical establishment was hiding that the shots were causing neurological damage.
Yes. Well, yeah. Of course. Yes. That's absolutely true. They were part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. From Chatter, most Zionists don't believe that God exists, but they do believe that he promised them Palestine. Elon Pape? Thank you, Chatterax. Well, I'll stop there, I think.
That's an oxymoron. That's a conundrum. That doesn't make sense, but that's true. That's the only, and it doesn't make sense to me. I identify as an atheist. If you guys don't know, I'll say this. I don't, that quote is being said because it doesn't actually make sense. You can't not believe in something and then say that thing you don't believe in promised something to somebody else. You can't, it's so beyond baffling. It's insane. I don't understand it, but there's a lot of them out there.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Thank you guys for the great commentary. I think I'll stop there, Matt. Thank you guys. It was a pleasure being here. Happy birthday to our birthday boys and my cousin. I don't know if you're listening, cousin Karina, but happy birthday. And I hope you guys have a great week and be safe out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I know everyone appreciates you, Nurse Leslie. Thanks for coming back for us.
Thank you.
And hopefully better days ahead. We're going to reset the year, at least from my vantage point, new year for me. But yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay.
We'll look into that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Boing point out live guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, little Lisa. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Leslie.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Bye. Oh, I have to click you out. Okay. Bye. All right. All right, guys. That was cool. She always makes it a little easier for me and all you guys in the comments. Lot to manage, lot to go through, but you guys are awesome. You make this thing worth it. You make this fun. Again, I told you guys earlier I was considering not doing the show today for a number of reasons. Leslie mentioned a few of those, but just not even just the birthday thing. There was like this idea that there needed to be a little bit of a reset here for us with not just the chaos in the world and the personal stuff. There was just something about it. It just didn't seem like. But anyways, I had enough discussions with some people and we talked about it and we figured out that no, we have to do the show. We have to do the show today. So even though we did start a tad bit late, I'm gonna make a resolution for my next year here that we're gonna start actually going on time, like for reals, because we do like showing up for you guys and getting there. We do have that little countdown at the beginning, so there's no reason why we can't be on with you guys when we say noon o'clock Pacific, 12:05. We're counting down. We're doing the thing. Let you guys know we're going to try and do more of that, be on time and do this thing with you guys because that's how it should be, guys. You should be able to count on us. We can show up and be here for you. And then you can, follow that lead and be also reliable and dependable in your lives. When you tell someone you're going to show up, effing be there. When you tell somebody that they can count on you, make sure that's true. It's very important. It's a great skill to have. Be consistent with that. Really important. And here in Hollywood, I'll tell you, you stick out like a sore freaking thumb when you do the thing you say you're going to do. I'm telling you that right now. It's actually an advantage to have that skill here because nobody has it. So when you do demonstrate it, people notice and they point it out and they go, holy crap, this guy actually calls when he says he's calling. This guy shows up when he says he's going to show up. So do that yourselves. It's really good advice. I was given the advice. I don't remember from who, but I'm giving it now. And it's important. I think it's effective. I think it's safe and effective. Okay, moving on. I think we're ready for. We got two more segments for you guys right now. We got to end. We always end with the loudest voice of the week, so we're gonna do that one. But this is a HOLLYWOKE. This is good. We got a few things A few things are happening simultaneously here in Hollywood. So I felt like we needed to do a HOLLYWOKE. We didn't do one Tuesday, so this is a good one. This is a good one. Here we go. And HOLLYWOKE, we say HOLLYWOKE in jest, guys. We're making fun of it's a culture of compliance, right? That's what Hollywood is. It's a culture of compliance. Get in line. Don't do the thing on your own. Listen to instructions. It's the epitome of listen to instructions because you got to get the role, got to get the job. That's what it's about. Let's go ahead and do the thing. Here we go. All right, guys, lots going on here in HOLLYWOKE right now. And I think we got to say that there's some serious damage control in place happening on a number of fronts. We know that Larry Ellison has bought up a lot of our studios. The Zionist machine is in play. It's in play not just on the news broadcasts of the networks, right? Not just CNN, not just CBS. We're talking about our entertainment right here when it comes to Paramount TV, whatever it is, MTV. We know WB just got bought by Larry Ellison as well. So it's not just his platforms; it's also the Zionist Jeff Bezos and his platform as well, which is Amazon Prime. So what we know is Amazon Prime is also a great place for CIA and Zionist propaganda. We've seen a lot of crazy, pro-Israel programming on there recently. But there's a series on Amazon. It's called The Boyz. And I guess it was one of the most popular shows for the last 6-7 years. The 5th season just premiered. There's a lot of hype about it. It's the last season, so they're ending the show. It's hard to understand why they're ending it because it was probably the most popular show. But 5, I guess, is the going number for a really good show that ends after 5, although a lot of them like to go more than they should. In this case, ending the show might have something to do with this. The Boyz actor Tomer Capone faces flack over interview boasting about torturing of Palestinians. What? Huh? Yeah. He's an Israeli actor. He's been on the show since it started in 2019. He's known for playing, it's a big role he plays on the show. He actually, in an interview, described operations that he conducted as an IDF member. They're calling it in the Telegraph a controversial interview, although there's nothing real controversial about telling us exactly who you are. It's a pretty cut and dry case. He's not the first one. We know that Gal Gadot is also one that has gloated about being in the IDF, although she is not as stupid as this guy, Tomer, who gives us details of what he did. Details. Not just gives us selfies like Gal Gadot with her little, hi, I am the IDF. I'm about to go into Lebanon and murder some people and take their houses and train some soldiers how to do it right. That's what Gal Gadot did. Tomer is actually telling us. So she didn't tell us exactly what she did, but he did. So the role of Frenchie is the character in The Boyz. So he's now getting backlash from an interview from 2016 when he discussed what he did in the IDF, and now people are noticing. The actor's come under fire for describing several operations during his time in the IDF in raw and disturbing detail. Following the backlash, he shared a cryptic post on his Instagram story in a response to it. Let's get to both of these. So here's what the interview with the Jewish publication Not Yet. Capone spoke candidly about his experiences of dealing with. Really? How did you deal with Palestinians? Oh, well, he's recounting a series of operations in a very matter-of-fact manner. In the middle of the night, you enter a family's house. The family doesn't let you get their 18-year-old daughter out easily. Really? Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like any effing family if you broke into their house to steal their effing daughter. They probably wouldn't let you do it easily. So, of course, a fight starts. Pushing, cursing, and then what? We tear her apart and drive off. So you kidnap their daughter. And why would you do that? And why are you gloating about it? So the interview is resurfaced, and that's just one example of what he gave away. the fans of the show on Reddit they're bursting in outrage. Yep. I had a feeling he was like this when I heard he was with the IDF, but when I watched the show, he's the one on the screen I tune out the most. Okay. Well, crazy that the guy who they gave a huge arc, so the character in the show has an arc about his guilt over past actions. Really? So they decided to cast a guy who in real life feels no shame of the terror he helped inflict on real people, not actors in a TV show, but real pain on real families that you really kidnapped and tortured people and ripped them apart from their families. So he actually seems like he has pride when he's accounting for this, especially his attitude about this after October 7th, which happened. He was already, a couple seasons into the show by October 7th, because the show started in 2019, right? And there it is, just so you guys know on IMDb. The show ran from 2019 to 2026. The fifth season is now wrapped. It's done. It's out. The show is done. So now people are talking about this. It's too bad they weren't talking about this before these new seasons came out. That's part is a shame. Really is. Here's that cast. Here he is in that picture, second to the left. This psychopath that actually murders people and gloats about it in real life, not his character, in real life. That's who we're talking about here. And this is an Amazon Prime show that literally ran from 2019 to 2026. Keep in mind the date, right? The interview was 2016. So why the F are they casting a guy like this? Why? It's like you already know. Well, we know why. We know why. It's pretty effing obvious why. So what do we do about it? Well, Adam says this guy, he's mocking everything about the show. Now, so this is the HOLLYWOKE part. So the show likes to defend liberal policies and mocking conservatives. They mock conservatives in the show, but they never mention Israel. Well, that's the mechanism in place when you watch these shows, is that you pretend that there's this battle between liberals and conservatives, but they're always defending Israel on both sides. So they are actively employing a terrorist war criminal as they're making fun of conservatives. It's crazy. And who's possible, and Adam points this out, possible rapist. So this is why liberals are frauds who deserve less, because they are employing people like this in this town in HOLLYWOKE, and they're pretending they're going after conservatives, pretending that that's the bad guy, when a guy in your cast actually does this to people in real life and brags about it. Tomer Camponi isn't an actor. He's a disgusting terrorist. Boycott anything with him in it. And certainly people are calling to do that on this article. Fans call to boycott this guy after these, and they call it controversial. It's not controversial. It's so cut and dry, obvious. It's just controversial would be if he suggested maybe this or that, or maybe he's apologetic or not, or I sit with it. That's controversial. This isn't controversial. This is absolutely 100%. He's a psychopath terrorist. That's what he is. No question. And this will show you why. So given the conflict, I love it, Israeli-Palestine conflict, and the sharp commentary of this program, several viewers are criticizing the casting of Camponi. His military past sparked backlash online, with some vowing to boycott the actor in the series. This dude should be on trial for war crimes. Yeah, forget boycott. He should be punished. Another comment: haven't had any desire to watch The Boys since this news resurfaced. And then this is obviously of note: could have hired anyone but a murderous IDF soldier. Great point. Great point. So while the backlash intensified online, Camponi has not issued an official statement, but he seemingly broke his silence by reportedly posting a cryptic quote on social media, which he's now deleted. He's deleted it, but this is the quote where he defends himself, urging fans not to believe everything they saw or read online. Really? So he puts a picture of Albert Einstein, and he puts this quote: "Don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there is a picture with a quote next to it." which means nothing because everything that is quoted is from the actual interview from the 2016 article. So what is that? In a 2024 interview, now this is good. Capone discusses the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but refused to pick a side. Oh, he certainly picked a side. So I don't know what this AOL article is saying. Refuse? Look what he said. This is absolutely picking a side. Free Palestine from terror, free Palestine from Hamas, yes, but the same goes for Israel. Free Israel from all of the extremists. That's picking a side. Clear as effing day. Do I have to spell it out for you guys? How that is picking a side? Of course, it's not. What the fuck is this not picking a side? That's garbage. That's garbage. Okay, so the fact is, this show's done. This came out now. It was probably being silenced the whole way, and not let out to the crowd. Or maybe, just maybe, the tides are turning here, and now more than likely than you would ever get a couple years ago, or certainly not before October 7th, you wouldn't have this reaction the way it is now, right? You wouldn't have this reaction. You would get more of a, it's complicated over there. I don't want to get into it. Let me watch my show. So that's how they thought they could get away with it from 2019 up until now. And now the show's canceled. So could be related that we have a cancellation because of this, because you can't hold your audience anymore because the audience sees what's going on and they're not going to have it anymore. So what Adam said in that tweet about the liberal class, which is Hollywood, HOLLYWOKE, which controls the narrative here, controls the spin of the DEI stuff, affirmative action stuff, weaponizes identity politics. You're allowed to say fuck Trump, but you can't say free Palestine. Everyone line up for your vax, get your next vax. Don't fucking ask questions or you're not allowed to work. So all of that stuff, it's starting to fall apart here. And I'm going to show you an example right now because they have to respin the messaging now here in Hollywood, where you literally have to dig up an old senator who also was a secretary of war after Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, who ran for president in 2004 and ran on this lie that he was an anti-war person just because he gave a good speech when he got back from serving in Vietnam. He's been a warmonger ever since. Colbert decides to invite him on, and this was announced. John Kerry to make a special appearance on Colbert's Late Show on Tuesday. And this is some major damage control that they have to do here in Hollywood right now. Because why? Because everyone is noticing that Netanyahu and Israel are controlling this administration. And they also know that it's been controlling our entire government the whole time. And they're furious about it. So here is the new narrative coming right out of the Colbert Show, right out of the entertainment capital of the world, where they can spin the story that Trump is uniquely invested with Israel, but nobody else ever was. And John Kerry can attest to that. So this is a deliberate miswriting of history that is happening here. And I worry that people are going to fall for this. When John Kerry says no, that's what Obama said. And they all said no, right? Bush and Cheney said no. Clinton said no. Biden said, huh? What? What did you say? Although they're going to leave out the fact that Biden started the genocide of Gaza by giving an open blank check to Netanyahu on October 7th, on October 8th. But this idea that Trump uniquely wants to do anything that Israel wants is insane. The reason why Kerry is telling us that Obama said no was because you look at the map and you say, this is going to be a hard effing one to pull off. And what they won't tell you about on the Colbert Show, they're not going to talk about what? The other countries that we did annihilation and destruction and regime change and terrorist activity and murdered people and stole resources and replaced leadership after murdering democratically elected leaders. They're not going to tell you about about Lebanon, right? They're not going to tell you about what we really were doing in Iraq. They weren't going to tell you. They're not going to tell you about what we really did to Saddam and Gaddafi. They're not going to tell you about what we attempted in Syria several times until we finally Biden was the one that ran out Assad at the very end of his term. And that's why Netanyahu's been able to get Syria, which he got. He's taking over land there right now. And what we did to Yemen. This is deliberate rewriting here of a narrative that's trying to pretend that Trump uniquely is in bed with Israel. And again, the only reason he said, I think I can do it, is because it's a challenge that no one else has been able to accomplish. Believe me, they wanted to. They just couldn't pull it off. They've all been working for Netanyahu the entire time, back to Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky being a honeypot for Clinton, which got him to basically be tied at the hip to Netanyahu. And Netanyahu gloats about his relationship. He was gloating about it during Clinton's presidency in the 90s, before 9/11, about how Americans are going to listen to anything. They're pretty effing stupid, and they will do anything we tell them. And the presidents that I work with are pretty stupid, and they're going to do anything I tell them. And they do. And the only reason we haven't attacked Iran till now, or we haven't done the full-scale war on Iran until now, is because we haven't had a president that hasn't given a shit about the fact that it can't actually be accomplished. We can't actually pull this off. That's the only reason Obama didn't do it. That's the only reason. You can pull off everything else. You can pull off Lebanon. You can pull off Libya. You can pull off Syria. You can pull off Yemen. You can pull off Iraq. You can pull off Palestine, which is now a freaking parking lot. So you can do these things. Iran, we always said, was the hardest one, the one you couldn't do. And John McCain and everyone else has been telling us the entire way, we got to do Iran. Iran is on the list. We got to do it. You got to do it. So Trump's doing it. This is rewriting the story. It's being brought through Hollywood to let us know that this is the story we're going with. It's Trump is the one, no one else. And you better, whatever you do, you better vote blue on the next election cycle. That's mandatory at this point. That's mandatory at this point. So we'll leave you with this for HOLLYWOKE. A good story coming out of the entertainment capital of the world. The very few celebrities that are doing anything right now, using their reach, their range to influence and stand up against the establishment war party, Israel, none other than Kyrie Irving. This was great news to hear from Adam, that the NBA star Kyrie Irving has now changed his 20 million follower Instagram profile pic to a photo of Palestinian children defiantly studying in front of a razor wire. So doing education on their own in front of a razor wire, and Israeli soldiers that prevent them from going to school. It's legend. Let's take a look. This is it. There's his Instagram on the left, and on the right, that's the actual picture. That's a big deal. And it's not the only time Kyrie Irving has done this. Just at the All-Star game earlier this year, he was wearing a press t-shirt. The NBA commentators never mentioned it. They didn't give the reference of why he was wearing that, but we know why. It was a shirt for Gaza journalists. Any journalist that is being targeted by Israel that wears the press t-shirt, and that press t-shirt becomes the target. He wore it at the All-Star game this February. And this is some stuff he did previously when he was at the NBA Finals. And he has fans in Palestine saying, thank you, Kyrie Irving, for standing with the Palestinian peoples. Good luck in the finals. He didn't win the finals that year, but just showing up, look at these conferences, and the commentators, they don't talk about it. They don't mention it. And he doesn't matter. He's doing this so as many people that can see it will see it. And we need more folks like Kyrie Irving in the entertainment industry to stand up and do that. But I just saw that one this morning, so I thought I'd share that one. And we'll end on a high note. But make no mistake, they're working overtime right now in HOLLYWOKE, figuring out ways they can continue to manufacture consent and get you to put the next profile pic in your social media, not Kyrie Irving's profile. They want you to put in whatever, the next Ukrainian flag, whatever it is, the yellow, blue, whatever is the thing. They're working on it right now to keep you in line. Stop asking questions. Fuck Trump. He's the only bad guy. Everybody else is good. Netanyahu he's a tough guy. We don't really like him, but we kind of do, but we kind of don't. But you can't beat Trump. That's the only problem is Trump. Everything else is fine. Let's get back to the way it is. Business as usual. We're all in this together. And that's been this week in HOLLYWOKE. Okay. Let's get you guys a good one to end the show with, end the week with. We'll get you guys a good one. Okay. Loudest voice. It's got to be loudest voice. It's got to be loudest voice. Jay Scott shared this one with me just before we went live on Tuesday. And let's see. Yeah, Tuesday. Hold on. Let me grab this. Okay. Tuesday's show. Jay Scott does a lot. You guys know Jay. Jay does a lot of great work for us. And but sometimes it comes in at very last minute and I'm like, oh damn, that's a good one. But we're literally about to go live and we don't have enough time to set it. And he sent this one, I think right before we went live on Tuesday. And I was like, you know what? We're not going to get this on the show in time. It's not going to happen. But it's perfect for loudest voice of the week. So we'll save it. And as you know, he's out for of town for today's show. He'll be back, I think next Thursday he'll be back. And we got some guests we're going to be announcing for next week. I can't do it just yet. I did announce one. I preemptively announced a guest that did not make it this week, but will be here next week, next Thursday. The creator of Delete Laws, challenger of cops. He's a great dude. His name's Chili DeCastro. He'll be on next Thursday. We have a few others we're going to be announcing as well, but I can't announce those. I got to remember not to fully announce until it is locked. But even then, even when it's locked, it still can change, right? So these are just hopeful announcements when we tell you guys who's coming up on the show. And you guys know we can change it around if we need to, which we do. Okay, I think we're set for loudest voice. This is a good one, guys. Here we go. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, by the way, any other comments? You guys put up some new stuff, new commentary from the more recent stuff on the Today's show. I will try hard to put up some on the end when we go out with you guys after this next segment, because I like to show you that that we see you, we hear you, we feel you, and we want people to know that we're all here. So we're all here, guys. We're all in this together, as they say. So let's go ahead and do this final segment of the day. It's time for loudest voice. Here we go. It's the loudest voice of the week. This is a really powerful one that we saw coming out of Coachella. Coachella, which ended the 2-week run. The last part was the biggest part of the biggest punch came from. And we always talk about this on the show, that we seem to have such a lack of musicians, a lack of courageous artists that have a chance every time they get up on stage and they have a microphone and they have lyrics and they have music and they have fans. And there's so few of them that are willing to put themselves on the line and challenge Israel, but challenge the war machine, challenge the CIA, challenge all of these entities. And the Strokes certainly pulled that off at Coachella in their very last set. They did a very striking, heartfelt, very raw visual montage in which they condemned those things. They condemned U.S. imperialism and Israel. Here's the play-in, just so you can see when he announced it. This is the lead singer, Julian Casablancas, announcing what they're about to do. And I wish we were there to see this, but here it is, guys. The videos are pretty awesome. We've shown a few of them on the show here. They were taken down from YouTube. You guys can find those on Twitter, by the way. They're not taken down from Twitter. For some reason, Elon has not jumped at that, in the last few months here. So we do have him there. But yeah, he can't find them. I bet he's not on Twitter. That's the problem. I don't think he's on Twitter. But he said they're down from YouTube. So what's he going to do instead? What's he going to do? And I would love to somebody have directed him over to Twitter to find those Lego videos, because YouTube's pretty awful with that. Now, when we went to go grab, now this is where it gets, we want to talk about censorship. When we went to go grab the actual video of this presentation, which is getting Loudest Voice of the Week, we bookmarked it, went back to it to grab it, and guess what happened? Here's what happened. This is from Power to the People. This takes courage. The Strokes closed their Coachella set, flashing these images. We talked about all of this, the assassination of MLK, the war crimes in the U.S. committing in Iran, the genocide Israel's committing in occupied Palestine, all of these things. And then what happened? We went to go grab the video, and what do you know? The media had been disabled. What? By the copyright owner. And you notice, and you guys can see this, 4.1 million people saw that just on this Twitter feed alone. That's a powerful machine that Elon or whoever got in there and said, no, too many people have seen this. It's enough that the people at Coachella saw this. 4.1 million people saw this on this one Twitter post. That's enough. That's enough. We don't want anyone else to see it. So that happened. So we got one little clip of it though. So here's the clip. And I'll tell you what I'll tell you what was up on the screen while you watch 2016, and that was a song being played. I'm not playing the song here just for you guys so you understand, just because of the whole YouTube copyright thing. But that's pretty fantastic. That's pretty fantastic. He talked about it. The lead singer Julian talked about this in an interview right after, and he hit the nail on the head in this clip. Check it out.
Controversial one. I know you do.
Yeah, give it to me.
Well, it's been nice having a career with you.
Same. Let's go down with the ship, Captain.
American Zionists get the benefits of, white privileged people, but talk like they are black people during slavery.
100% agree. I've never seen something so where they're like, I'm so
oppressed.
I'm an oppressed person. I'm like, you are going to a wedding in Tel Aviv right now when there are 80,000 dead people, and more, 80,000 plus dead people, including women and children, half a mile away. Absolutely fucked and totally, you know what? I don't think it's bad to say that.
I mean, just for the people that are going to be like, Hamas, October 7th, yes, bad, but, Native American rebellions didn't mean it was, okay to do what we did. Slave rebellions that were violent didn't mean that, slavery is not bad. You know what I mean? So that's the scope of that answer, just to be for the hater.
And that's that. There's so few of these and far between right now that have the courage to do this. So few. So that's it, man. That's it. I wish there were more bands willing to do this. But everybody that experienced Coachella, the idea is that obviously they waited until their last set because they knew they would not be invited back. We don't know if there's consequences for next time or whether they're already like, screw it, we're not going to be, we're ready to take that hit. But this was the final punch at the end of the entire event. And it's very cool to see that. And we need more of this. So that's why I'm not just the lead singer, but the entire band of the Strokes, who all obviously had to sign up and be part of this experience, and all the people that helped with the tech and the, just the structuring of this final piece. All of them right now in this moment in time, because of the engagement that they got from this and the people that are seeing it, it's important that it does affect and it does make a difference. And that's why the Strokes are getting this week's Loudest Voice of the Week. All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. I did remember, I just saw the comments on YouTube have been disabled. They have certainly been disabled. That sucks. That sucks. The last comment that came in, let's just put that up here, because I guess, yeah, we can't even say bye to you guys after this. That's it. That just sucks. Oh, shoot. Okay. We did get a few more. I'm sorry. It just reset. Oh, this is great news. I thought it was okay. There was a little pause. Something, there was a little thing here. Okay. This is good. Okay. These ones just came in. My bad, guys. We did figure it out. Okay. Here we go. This is from Chris. Thank you so much. I'm glad Julian is talking about this, but his dad was connected to Jeffrey Epstein, trying to figure out if this is legit or if he's just playing an angle. Great point. We always have to be careful about angles. I think we can do we can do both at the same time. We can be skeptical about angles, i.e. Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. We can be skeptical, even Thomas Massey. We look into that. But at the same time, let's celebrate the moments in which messaging was given out and it was important and it made an impact. And I think both can be true at the same time. But I do appreciate you giving us that intel there. And we'll certainly keep an eye on it if the Strokes do anything else coming from here. And I see this. Thank you, Citizen. We do have a lot of super chats coming in now. I don't know why. I guess it just froze on my own. Oh, look at this. Somebody noted. Oh, Donald Duck's mom noticed the Matt's happy birthday to Matt's brother too. Very true. Thanks so much, Donald Duck's mom. Really appreciate that. And thank you guys all for the birthday stuff. And Chris, you did one right before this. I do appreciate the happy birthday and the super chat. Thank you so much. Really cool. Really cool, you. Okay. Let's see if I missed any other ones. Oh, yeah, Citizen. I missed this one. That's the CIA activating their Mexico sleeper cells. That's reference to the car crash, the CIA agents that were killed there. And we don't really know too much about the meth raid. They're calling it the greatest meth raid ever in Mexico's history. Very odd that happened at the same, and then you had the car wreck happen after that. But yeah, not surprised that if sleeper cells are part of that entire operation. Thanks for that, Citizen. I'm happy to see these. I thought it looked like we were frozen for a little bit there. So I'll go ahead and throw a bunch of these up. The most I can do when we play out the outro, and you guys will be happy if you guys appreciated that loudest voice segment. You'll be happy how we're going to end the show, because I did manage to do a little bit of digging. In fact, I did come up right before we went live. I found the full clip of the song. And I don't care about playing it on the outro, but you're going to get to see more of the imagery from the band that played at Coachella, because I did find it. Even though it was taken down from the 4 million people that saw it on that one tweet, it was active on another tweet that didn't have as much engagement. So I did find it. And you can do that sometimes. You can go and double check, triple check, and you might find one that got kind of put under the radar. How do I know that? Because even with algorithms, we got targeted once for a conversation with Dr. Shiva, and then I went to Dr. Shiva's YouTube, and his was still up, and it was the same conversation. So it's like, this isn't just because they get one video off on one thing, you can still find it sometimes, but you have to look. So there's that. Okay, that should do it for today, guys. Thanks so much. I don't even want to call it the birthday show, but I will say thank you guys for the birthday comments and messages and warm, reach outs to us through the channel today, through the show today. We've been here all afternoon. I guess we did make it to the 4-hour mark, which I guess I expected we would, but that's it. We got to cut it off now. Got to have a more relaxing rest of the day here, I hope. But for now, let me just thank Craig Pasta for coming on. Nurse Leslie, obviously it was great to have both of them back. I don't think either of them have been here for a little bit, so that was great to have both of them here. And all you guys here, we'll be back at our regular times again, and we'll try to stay on point more and start on time and show up for you guys next Tuesday and Thursday and beyond. The Homeless Left, a non-tribal approach to news, not just news, but to life. And that's what it is about, guys, is that we take what we learn here and we implement it into our day-to-day actions and activities. And you would be surprised how much influence we can have on just the circle of people around us. Planting seeds. Seeds can grow. It takes time sometimes, but they do grow. And every once in a while, you get a text. I'm going to read one right now. I'm going to read one from a colleague of mine. I'm going to read you guys a text I received from a colleague of mine, and I can't help but smile because this text would never come from a Zionist, but this is a very respected industry professional, Jewish, happens to be Jewish, never gave me any commentary back when he knows what I've been doing on the show and knows what I've been saying about Israel and about Trump and the IDF and all this stuff. I finally got this text, and this is cool. This is really cool. Matt, it's pretty obvious that you were right. Israel controls Trump's decision making. And that's what you call a seed that's starting to grow. And that's just one example. And there's more to come. And I look forward to more conversations with this colleague of mine and other people. And you guys can have these happen too. And it's not just the Trump and Israel. It's not just that. There's anything that you've been right about or you've been adamant about and they've given you shit for or they've stayed silent about. Who knows? You put enough you plant enough seeds out there, at some point they might start growing and you might get a text just like I received. They're few and far between, but when they happen, you go, huh? Oh, how do you like that? How do you like that? And that's the show today, guys. Here we go. Gonna leave you with what I told you guys, the Strokes, the actual full song as it played at Coachella. Enjoy all the calling out of U.S.-Israel war machine and beyond, CIA, all that shit, all being called out with art, which art should be used to do. We miss that about art. We want more of that, especially here in HOLLYWOKE, and anywhere that entertainment can come from. And obviously, we all can put out content. And let's just hope there's more artists in the next generation that can have as much courage as the very few we see today. So enjoy. We'll see you guys next time. Remember, always go out in the world with courage, conviction, and above all else, principle. I'm Matt Weinglass. This is the Homeless Left, non-tribal approach to news. We'll see you next week. Power to the people and free Palestine.